The power of honk compels you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a Tuesday stream. It is April 11th, 2023, in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini, etc., etc. And we are here for, once again, our monthly gamebook illustration stream. Praise it with great praise. Get really excited. Get pumped up, because I am. And it's going to be that guy you see on the cover, Greyshade. No, I'm just kidding. Greyshade doesn't steal gems. It is, however, Midnight Rogue, as we continue with our Fighting Fantasy Gamebook playthrough of book number 29 in the series, in case you're curious, of Midnight. No, he does not. He does not, Echo. You be good. No, he doesn't. But Midnight Rogue is going to be this, and we're going to be playing this with the amazing illustration talents of the person who I'm going to introduce to you in just a moment. He's not a rogue; he's an assassin. I just said it because he's looking like that, but he's not a rogue. He's an assassin. Different thing, different situation. That's why. But this guy, however, Midnight Rogue, is a rogue and does indeed wish to steal gems, and we will talk more about that in just a bit. But before I go any further, a couple of reminders about ways to support the stream. If you have not done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. Our Discord channel is !ArvCord. Twitter is !ArvTweets, and our website is, of course, arvaneleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area. !ArvTrayon is the Patreon, which supports the channel, really is kind of the financial backbone of the channel and makes a big difference. If people are able to support over there, you can get cool stuff for yourself and cool stuff for the channel. And while I'm on the subject of supporting the channel, doing things like subbing to the channel is also always appreciated, and would love it if folks could support by doing that as well. Again, you can get those custom sub badges and emotes to use everywhere across Twitch, and also can get inspirations to help our players. Hold on one second. I just realized that the Discord thing has to be there like this. Okay, there we go. Good, lovely. Now that's up. The subbing to the channel is always a great thing as well. On the publishing side, Icarus is my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts, and award-winning, I should say, IBPA Benjamin Franklin Award silver medal winning, to be exact, Icarus. Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That is my 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that in just a minute. And of course, the aforementioned Greyshade, who is not a rogue but is an assassin. Greyshade, who is doing some good stuff, because Greyshade, that novel, as has been recently announced, is also an IBPA Benjamin Franklin Award winner. It is a finalist in the science fiction and fantasy category for the 2022 version. Well, publication did 2023 awards, but that's for books published in 2022 for Greyshade. I'm very proud of this, and I'm very excited about it. If we can win and become a gold medal winner, that would be even more amazing. But regardless, I am honored to be a finalist with 2 other books and to be a silver medal winner already. And there were a lot of entries for the IBPA Benjamin Franklin Awards this year, and the science fiction and fantasy category is a larger category than the graphic novel category was. So I'm very pleased and proud and all that kind of good stuff. So that's happening today. That's happening today. I was looking at what we're going to do today. We're going to play Midnight Road today. Greyshade is not happening today. Although, what you can do today, you'll find out whether it won the gold medal next month. But what you can do today, if you're like, wow, I want to know more about it, is going to be happening by Greyshade. You can go over and order that book right now. You can also pre-order Renegade, which is coming out later this year, and you can, of course, pre-order Heretic, which is going to be out next year. And you can as well pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, being done by Brandon O'Brien, coming out from Alligator Alley. That'll be coming out later this year. And the audiobook by Trent Sparks, which will also be coming out later this year. So a lot of stuff coming out this year with Greyshade. Very exciting about that. You can check that out with Greyshade. Last but certainly not least, BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, as I always say, and it continues to be true. Help Now is the World Health Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, Ukraine, to help the fine people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war that has devastated their country. They are fighting back with bravery and courage, but this is our opportunity to help and to do the same thing in our regard and send the message that we will help as well with others who face a similar situation in the future. Last thing I want to mention is something I continue to talk about and we'll talk about more, and that is which is that starting on Thursday, May 25th at 6 p.m. Eastern will be the official kickoff event for ARVCon 2023. This is to benefit, of course, the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation, as you folks know who have been watching for a while. We do this every year to benefit that, and it's going to be a major event overall that entire Memorial Day weekend with a bunch of tabletop play and a concert and giveaways and all kinds of stuff, all to benefit Damon Runyon, and it'll be a lot of fun, and I can't wait for everyone to come and see it. But the opening sort of gambit in all of this is a live Dungeons & Dragons event. We will be playing my aforementioned Night at the Forbidden Library from Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, and that's going to be starting 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursday the 25th. It will be at the historic Klein Memorial Auditorium in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We have started to see more and more ticket sales for this, which is super exciting, so please get in your orders for this. You will see not only myself, but also 4 players well known to people on this channel: C.S.E. Cooney, Carlos Hernandez, Robert Austin James, otherwise known as Darkside Rob, and Zach Clay, plus a high school student not well known to this channel, but we will hopefully soon be well known, I suppose. They will be joining us, whoever that person turns out to be, and those 5 players will go through Night at the Forbidden Library in front of a live audience. It will also be live streamed, but if you want to come in person, those tickets are $5, and if you want to watch online via the live stream, also $5, which will benefit the Klein Memorial Auditorium and will also, most of all, benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation, as you can see with those logos there. So please check that out. If you haven't already done so, please pre-order, get some tickets. Please let people know. Please spread the word. Even if you live in another country, you can absolutely still watch the live stream of it, and you can tell people about spreading the live stream of it. So if you want, I'm happy to send you digital copies of this, and if you're in the States and nearby, I'm happy to send you physical copies of one of these things. This is something if you want a cool QR code poster with a dragon in the middle talking about the same stuff I was just speaking about. But yes, you did hear Rob. The Rob is going to be there along with Carlos, Claire, and Zach. So, and also the high school student. So it's going to be awesome. And I've continued to talk about it a lot because it's important, and I am excited about it, and so all that kind of good stuff. Schedule-wise, today we've got Midnight Rogue going on. Then at 4 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be over at Pen and Pixels, over at GogCom's Twitch channel with Pen and Pixels and Chained Echoes as we continue our playthrough of that. And then I'll be back here tonight for what should be a full Our Vocalist crew of at 9 p.m. Eastern of Citizen Sleeper. So we will have KP, we will have Rem Alternus, our 2 newest Our Vocalists, along with veteran Our Vocalist Zach Clay. And I'm really excited for it to get back into the full crew with more Citizen Sleeper. We're closing in on the end of that game, I believe, and once we're done with that, then I have a couple of other thoughts about what we're going to do next. There's a good chance we may do some Ace Attorney stuff for over the summer, which is a lot of laughter and a lot of fun and a lot of joy and a lot of excitement and all that kind of good stuff. We can't do nothing but Ace Attorney games because they do have kind of a limited shelf life, but usually we're able to do some sessions of one of those before we check out something else. So we always have bounced back and forth, and we've done 3 of the Phoenix Wright games over the course of time doing their vocalists, and we're now into Apollo Justice, and so we will continue with that game soon, but first we need to finish up with Citizen Sleeper, so you can join us tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for that. And then on Friday of this week, we'll be back with you all on the channel as we continue with the New Jersey Web Festival official selection. It's an early selection of our Speculate performance. Whoops, not that, although that's important. Of Valorword, Court of Blades Valorword. So I will be in that on Friday evening, so you can expect me for that. And as I mentioned, both Friday and Saturday, but especially Saturday, is slightly up in the air because of my wife being away for this week. So far, we've managed to get our streams in, actually, and I think, knock on wood, we'll be able to get all our streams in still throughout the course of the week, but there is is a possibility that a stream might get truncated or might have to get canceled because of picking my wife up from the airport. She is enjoying her time on her retreat right now, but I'm picking her up from the airport next weekend. So that may have an impact on schedule, but if not, then we would have some more Sorcery 4 Crown of Kings is our plan. So that is the deal with all of those things. But now I am going to I'm going to unmute myself, and I'm laughing because I've just seen the illustration that is being put together by the inimitable TariToons, and I think I want to make sure that when I transition over that I go directly to that. So hold on, I'm going to go into studio mode. I don't want to show just the cover. I want to show. No, not that one. Where is it? Get rid of that. Okay, there we go. Perfect. I'm going to show this, and then chat, if you've been with us for a while, you'll be able to tell why this is so funny. So let me just transition to reveal. Our Midnight Rogue playthrough with the amazing TariToons. And Tari, would you? It's good to see you. Would you care to explain briefly before saying how things are going? Just what this is all about. Can you explain what our connection here is?
Hi. Yes, of course. So we are playing a rogue, and our job is it to break into a house and steal a thing, a gem, a shiny. But you, the viewers/players, have decided that we have no points in lockpicking.
Decided we do not know how to pick a lock.
Great for burglary and whatnot. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We have pickpocket. We can sneak. We can spot hidden. We have no idea what to do with locks. It's just we just don't even know. We can't even figure it out. I am very excited to see how we manage as a rogue without lockpicking today. Before I go any further, let me introduce the amazing and wonderful TariToons. Tari, it's good to see you. How are you? How's life in the universe with you? And let's see, what is your current favorite movie experience, and why is it Honor Among Thieves?
Well, I'm doing good, aside from being very tired from doing a lot of work on the house today, like finally getting like some work done that I have been procrastinating on very hard the past year. As far as Honor Among Thieves goes, I very, very much enjoyed that movie. So
yeah, we were talking about a little bit in the green room chat before about how it was like, it was just like it's a game. It's a movie that people who are not D&D fans can still enjoy. But if you are a D&D fan, it's so much fun to see stuff and be like, I know that reference, that. Because we both went with people that I shouldn't say that. My wife does like Dungeons and Dragons and would play more if she could, but doesn't have obviously the historical knowledge that I do. And so Tari and I were exchanging stories about trying not to tell significant others every third reference in the movie. Like, okay, this, oh, that was this. But it was, it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. And you also got to hang out with Shire Adventures fellow player, Brad. So how was that?
So last weekend was a fantasy convention in Mons in Wallonia in Belgium, which our very own Bradley P. Bolio, I can totally pronounce
pretty
his
good.
Last name.
Bollier, pretty close.
Bolia. Got invited to promote the French translation of the French translations of his Shattered Sands series books. And since that town is like roughly 2 hours ride from my place, I figured this is quite the opportunity for us to actually meet IRL for the first time. So yeah,
that's really cool.
I picked out things and stayed the weekend in Mons.
And were there huge? I need a report from the front. Were there huge lines, like winding around to see Brad, or was there nobody there and you came up and someone was like, wait, someone knows this person? Like, what was the layout in terms of fan interest in Brad's French book?
To be fair, I didn't actually spend a lot of time at this table, just saying hi and then going on, because we were like hanging out in the evening after the convention mainly.
Right.
So
okay.
Actually don't know.
Okay.
So you would need to ask Bradley about that.
Fair enough.
Because the convention wasn't exactly small, so like unless like easy to miss, I suppose. Like
Hmm.
depending on where you're running around, can't see his table. So
Did he look in
uh,
real life as you expected?
well, I expected him to look like in his photos and on camera. So yes.
Okay, but I mean, like, like one of like the was it sort of like, my God, his torso is actually a he's a on a unicycle or something, like, that type of thing,
No,
was it?
no, no. He wasn't on a unicycle. So yeah. Um, but no, we had a lot of fun,
That's good.
and I spent way too much money at the stupid convention.
Yeah,
Things I don't
yeah.
actually need, as you do.
I was just
Like
gonna say that, like, come on now. I mean, you
well, it's
theoretically
like stuff
need.
for like historical costuming and whatnot. The biggest hurdle though was that apparently in Wallonia, or like in the province anyway, in Hainaut, nobody speaks like English or Dutch, which is, like I speak three languages, right?
Right.
German, English, and Dutch, and two of those languages, Dutch and German, are actually official languages in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the languages I speak is the lingua franca. None of
And
nobody spoke any of these in
nobody
that
spoke
region.
any of them.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
man.
it was like funny to see some people try.
See, I
But
expect, as
yeah.
someone who speaks only English and struggles through French, I always expect that if I'm on places and I have some difficulty, I have no one to blame but myself and whatever. But if you speak, I feel like if you speak three languages, you should feel fairly covered. You know what I mean? Like, you should be like, that's pretty safe in a lot of places. Not everywhere, obviously, but in a lot of places. So then it's like, no, you needed to learn a fourth so that you could pick up. I mean, geez.
Well, it doesn't help that like all of the languages I speak are from the same language family. It
Ah,
would probably be much more efficient if I would throw a Romance language in there, because then I wouldn't struggle so hard with French.
fair enough. That's
Uh,
true. Effect
could at
Life
least
says
like
I'm not a
read some
fan.
signs.
Effect Life says I'm not a fan of the French speaking part of Belgium. Wow. Is that Effect Life? Does that put us like in a rare category, like in a, how do I put this? Like a dangerous category. Like, by doing that, everyone's like, oh, I see that Effect Life is allowed to be on your channel. Apparently, the French speaking part of Belgium is not permitted here. Is like, is that the kind of civil war we're getting ourselves involved in? No, but that's awesome. I'm glad that I was actually I love to see the picture that you posted in Discord of the two of you meeting and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. So that's good. And hopefully not too long, Tara, you and I can have a similar, meeting, and actually be like, hello, we're actually people
Yes.
that exist in real life, and
Yeah,
not
ship
just
me
online.
out to Gen Con or something.
Listen, one step at a time. If things expand the ways we hope, yes. Or if I get over to, I do want to get over to Europe again, and
Yes.
specifically to, I want to get over to England. Which, here's the obvious joke, but they're not in Europe anymore.
Well, they're
So
still in Europe,
they
even
are
though they
really
don't
in
believe
Europe,
it.
despite what they think they are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
like a whole thing that like I don't know if that's like a general thing about people from the British Isles, or if it's just England.
mhm.
But like acting like the place is not part of the continent of Europe.
Right. And it is just England, and not even all of England. Like, Scotland doesn't feel this way. Wales doesn't feel this
I
way.
assume Ireland
Ireland doesn't
doesn't.
feel this way. No. So it's really just England and, whatever, like 52% of only the English. And that actually would change. I think if they had another referendum now, I
No, no,
think
no.
that,
I don't mean like being in the EU, but like being part of the general landmass
oh,
and
in the landmass.
cultural space.
Yeah, but like, that's what I
Um,
mean though. To me, I don't see how one can distinguish it. If they're on the continent, they should have known from thousands of years of history that they're part of Europe, regardless of what they claim. And so, like, that since they are part of the continent, as is pointed out, they should
yeah.
be part of the Union. Come on.
I
Anyway,
mean,
that's just my,
like, Iceland
you
is
know.
part of Europe, and like I don't just mean the EU, but like of Europe,
Right,
Europe,
right,
and it's
right.
way farther away
Yeah,
from anything
exactly. Like,
else than like the
listen.
British Isles are. So,
More people should be in Europe. That's
uh,
what I think. Anyway,
yeah.
but it is awesome to have Tari with us, and yes, and we have chat a big session for you today because we have to figure out how to do this. And you can see now, Echo. Before you were noting this thing about Gray Shade, but I want to point out that, as you can see, there is no relationship at all between this and Gray Shade. Please note that the name of this person is they are non-binary. It is a no man Greyblade. So I want to be clear: No Man Greyblade. There's no relationship at all to any figure that wears a cloak that hangs out in a city at night a lot.
Well,
And
No Man doesn't have a cloak
you
anymore. We
know,
lost it.
well, we lost it because we were fighting off the gargoyle, right? That's
Yes.
true. But they I feel like they should though. Like even if they don't, the cloak is sort of a
A tree grows.
yeah,
It's like a lizard tail.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. It's more an idea, really. It's a concept. So one of the things that was posted, I guess I think it's okay for me to mention this part. One of the skills that Brandon O'Brien has come up with for the Gray Shade role-playing game class of merchant is they have a skill called Priceless Weaponry. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. I'm showing you this because I think this is so outrageously silly and awesome so basically the rough description of it is that during combat, a merchant can pull out, who knows from where, a weapon which is of fine quality, better quality than a normal weapon would be, and can fight using it. And they just have it, and they can just use it. But the weapon is subject to almost immediate breakage. And once the weapon breaks, you are not able to use another weapon for another, I think it's after the next round. So you have a round where you're completely unarmed, and then you're able to draw a weapon and do this again. So it's very much like, for anyone who's played Zelda Breath of the Wild, except with merchants. So I love the idea that just if No Man Greyblade loses their cloak, they just can randomly pull out a cloak. I'm not going to do that because it would break the game, but I'm just saying it would be cool if that was part of that to actually happen. So yes. Anyway, I am hoping that we will get our cloak back. But so this is us, chat. We are No Man Greyblade. We have a short sword. We have a leather jerkin and leggings. We have 5 out of 6 items in our backpack. We only carry 6. Excuse me. And that is we have a hand lamp, we have a torch, a tinderbox, a dagger, and we have 10 provisions. We also have special skills that make it possible for us to not open doors. Pickpocket, spot hidden, and sneak. We have a 12 out of 12 skill. We have 19 out of 19 stamina. We're not super lucky. We have 8 out of 9 luck, 7 gold, and as I mentioned, 10 provisions. And yeah, so much the same, Emily. When he started explaining it to me, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. I love this so much. I'm really pleased. When you folks have a chance to see what Brandon has done with this thing, it's awesome. So, hi Triffid, welcome. And so, yes, so that is the deal. And our job is that we have been tasked to steal the Eye of the Basilisk to prove that we are worthy of becoming a full-fledged member of the Thieves Guild of Port Blacksand. See, for me to become a full-fledged member of the Science Fiction Writers and Fantasy Writers of Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers Association. To be able to do that, I had to make a certain number of sales. I had to do several things, but that was pretty much it. What this person has to do is do that, make sales. No, not make sales. They have to steal something and do so epically. And so the Eye of the Basilisk is supposed to be impossible to steal, thus perfectly set up for us to do this. So we are ready to go. And in our last session, we tried to gather some information together and tried to get what we would need together. And we're somewhat unsuccessful because we ran into locks that were ultimately not able to be opened because of things. Because we don't have pickpocket or because we don't have pick locks. So as we begin today, we are going to be moving on to my save point is 144. And we're going to continue and do the best we can to try to get through regardless and get the Eye of the Basilisk.
Don't you want me to do show off the stuff from last time?
But I do. I was just about to say, but I do want to show you. I was literally going to the but I, and then also we have to figure out our music for today. But yes, first I want you to show what we did last time to show the power of No Man Greyblade.
Well, before that, the cat says hi. She was like
hi,
sneaking
Lorelai.
around my legs, so now she's sitting on my arm.
It looks like we are going to be getting a cat during the summer, by the way, Tari. My wife went over and we did a big allergy thing where we went to this cattery and like the Siberian cats, which have lower level of allergens. And she came out of it feeling, after like 35-40 minutes, like practically sticking her face in the cat's fur type of thing. She was just like felt a slight little bit of stuffiness in one area, which is like approximately 1,000,000 times better than any other time. So it looks like we're going to be getting a Siberian cat during the summer, which is an exciting moment as we move towards one cat, one dog. That's what we're planning on. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to mention that. So hi, Lorelai, you're inspiring new cats elsewhere.
Yeah, we are also probably getting a second kit, but no concrete plans on that.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, this was a warm up from last time.
And represented how you felt at the time.
Yeah, I was also very, very tired last time. And then I had some time to kill during technical difficulties or something. There was like something going on.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was, but then we
no, you had to like run off screen. Like you had to go AFK for like quite a bit.
So, yeah. It was family stuff, I think.
Or like
yes.
a phone call or something. I don't know. But yeah, just like some silly doodles of Fifi. And more
of Fifi. We are going to be doing some more emotes, by the way, soon, chat. Soon, TM. There we go. No man may hinder no man, Greyblade. Hold on, let me center that. Let me center that a little better than I have right now. Okay, there we go. That is what I'm talking about.
You are zoomed in too far.
Well, it's about fitting. It's not easy to do that because it's about fitting it into this window. Okay. That's pretty close, actually.
So yeah, that's us.
Awesome. Looks great.
Another
yeah, see, there's the built-in cloak. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The cloak which just exists. That's a really good picture, actually.
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't exist anymore. Then I decided to redraw/redesign the coat of arms of
Black Sand, right? Port Black
yes,
Sand,
Port
where we
Black
were.
Sand.
Yep. Yeah, that was an easy slam dunk. I literally was just like, oh, there's this coat of arms, and Tara's like, did you see coat of arms? Did you say was there coat of arms there? Because
yeah. That's me. One track mind. Other people are like, ooh, boobies, and I'm like, ooh, coats of arms.
Oh, look at that coat of arms. Okay, yeah, this was the tragic loss of the cloak, but it was almost the tragic loss of us. So we had to kind of, fighting off this gargoyle. Which we did successfully. We did not, to be clear. Oh, actually, I guess we did destroy it because we threw the cloak on it, and then that meant it fell to the ground, right, and smashed. I think is what happened.
Like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was last session/first session.
And our first session this was very funny, Tari. I just came back over and I'm like, yes, outstanding, outstanding. Yeah. So good stuff, and I'm excited to see what we come up with today. And let's talk about, now last time I think we did the Thief soundtrack, which is very appropriate, but do we have another soundtrack idea? First of all, I'll give Tari first chance. Do you have a thought about a possible soundtrack option?
Styx? Oh god, what was like the full name of Styx again? Styx.
Oh, Master of Shadows, right?
Yes. It's also a sneaking game.
Because otherwise I just get otherwise I get a bunch of Come Sail Away and Mr. Roboto. Which is not that Styx. Another Styx. There we go. Okay, Styx Master of Shadows. Have you played that, Tari?
A little bit, but I sucked really hard at it, so I put it down.
I heard mixed reviews about it. Like, I like stealth stuff, but I had heard mixed things, so I wasn't sure.
Like, I like stealth stuff in theory, but in most cases I'm just really, really bad at it, to the point where I just can't play them for long. Like, the only stealth game that I've like properly played like all the way to the end is Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
Like 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah.
There we go. All right, cool. So yes, I have pulled open, and I will give you the link the one I'm using. And also, oh no, Emily, Emily, I feel like I've done something exactly like that before, and I'm like, I will fix this, and then I go up having thought that I fixed it, and then it just is worse. Like we have a flag outside. We have two flags. We have one flag on one side, which is currently set to our spring, like birds on trees flag, because my Let It Snow flag was a complete waste, did nothing, accomplished zero in getting actual snow. So now we're up to spring. So I have that on one side, and then the other side I have a Black Lives Matter flag, which we've had for a number of years. And I cannot get that freaking the flag to not furl on the pole. Like it just constantly twists around it, and I've gotten the anti-furl thing, and I just need to get at some point another flagpole, I guess, so it doesn't do that.
Did you
you know.
put like a LED band into the other end of the flag?
That's a good. No, I have not
Like,
done
you know,
that.
like the type of that you
Yes.
put in curtains.
Yep. No, I haven't done that. That's a
That
good
could
thought.
help.
That might help. I feel like one part of it, because the flag in front doesn't do this, and it does not have one of those bands, but it's a different design pole. So anyway,
Alternatively, you could make it into, oh God, what are they called? Like a tube flag, where like instead, like usually you have like tie like down the two corners to the
right,
flagpole, right?
right.
But like instead you can like basically make like a fabric tube that like goes over the flagpole, and then like if it like furled around, then like the whole thing would turn in
The whole
theory.
thing turns instead. I see. So like a sleeve on top of the
Yeah,
flagpole,
it's
basically.
basically.
That's a good idea. Yeah, because the flag in front actually is a tube flag. Like it's just
Well,
designed that way. So
assuming that the flagpole doesn't have too much friction.
yeah, I don't love that flagpole. I have to fix it. We will do that at some point. But oh no. Also high on the hills. Okay, so music, right. So I have started, but I can't hear anything because I think I stopped. Okay. There we go.
I mean, we could listen to the Metal Gear Solid soundtrack, but that doesn't really fit the setting, sadly.
Well, just every time we lose, it could be like ring, and have the big exclamation point. You'd have to draw in though, like you'd have to draw an exclamation point and just flash it on your screen every time that happens. Okay, chat, how is that? Is that too loud, this music, or okay? Well, I'm liking this music. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, sign me up for this music. This reminds me a bit of the Arcanum soundtrack, the Magic and Steamworks Obscura.
Yes. I still need to play that.
Oh, that you would like that, Tari. Make
Well,
sure.
yeah, like everybody tells me that, but like a lot of these games, like they tend to have like really slow start.
This one is a little bit of a slow start, although that's not too bad. The real problem is that it's still clunky, and you have to make sure you have the GOG version and get a couple of mods installed to make it work. Once that's going, though.
Mods, okay.
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, I do have the GOG version.
I do. Yeah.
I did start playing that actually, but like I talked like to the first NPC and then turned it back off again because like installing was already such a pain and everything.
Yeah.
And
it is a little bit like that, but once you get into it, it's a very interesting balance, and it also does a very good job at honoring. Like I usually try to make characters that are high charisma and that are very persuasive because I want a lot of like conversation options basically. And so this was one of the few games I could think of that honors that all the way through, where that actually had an effect. Like it made my character the way I wanted to make it, instead of being like, oh yeah, you are persuasive, but mostly you just fight all the time. Like this did not do that. So it was cool. Right. Okay. So now that we have our music and we have this stuff going, let's roll, chat. So, as I said, in our last session, we're trying to steal a midnight gem, the midnight gem, known as, called the Eye of the Basilisk, this priceless gem. And to do that, we have to explore this, which is Port Blacksand. I'm going to show you folks a big version of that, this map. You can see that we're actually in Port Blacksand now, and we have gathered some information, sort of, although not really. I love that it actually asks in our save point, you must be close to the Eye of Basilisk by now, or you now know where it's hidden. You do know, don't you? We have no idea where it's freaking hidden because we can't open doors. So we don't know where it's hidden, so we're going to have to take a guess. So the 4 choices that we have, chat, as you can see from this map, are Clock Street, Singing Bridge, Lord Azur's Palace, or Barrow Hill. Now, Clock Street, if I can find where that is very quickly. Clock Street is, I just saw that before. It's the thing with the stuff, the business. Where the heck did Clock Street go? I just had this. I looked it up before the stream too.
You can do it. I believe in you. The coffee can start kicking in, please. Anytime now.
Let me get to this other one. Okay, the Singing Bridge. At least I know where the hell that is, basically. That is that bottommost bridge that you can see. There's a thing that actually says Bridge Street. And so we have Singing Bridge. We have Lord Azur's Palace. And Lord Azur's Palace is, as you can probably note for yourself, up at the top of the screen there, or the top of the map there, is Lord Azur's palace. We have also Barrow Hill, and Barrow Hill is almost out of the city. You can see that at the top of the fence beyond the field gate there. It says to Barrow Hill. So the only word that I don't actually know where the hell it is Clock Street. I don't know where Clock Street is. If anyone in chat sees Clock Street on this map and they can just be like, hey, Arv, it's here, that'd be great. But I don't see it.
I also don't see it.
I do not know. All right, well,
Is
so
it like maybe numbered instead?
yeah, well they are numbered, but there's no like key. So it's not super helpful. Yeah, it's not really helpful. So
like, does it matter where the street is?
Probably not. I was just, trying to I was trying to give some verisimilitude, some sense of reality, of truth. This is the 5D experience, Okay. So your choices, chat, in terms of where we start looking for this is, let's get rid of that. And I'll put the map up just briefly while we block that off. Okay, so we have Clock Street. So it says, you think about the information you've collected and the obstacles you've overcome. You must be close to the Eye of the Basilisk by now, or at least you now know where it's hidden. You do know, don't you? Where will you look for the Eye of the Basilisk? In Clock Street? In the Singing Bridge? At Lord Azur's Palace? Or Barrow Hill? She took my heart to Barrow Hill. Okay. And there we go. All right, chat. So now's your chance to get in your vote. Where should we try? $ vote space 1 to go to Clock Street, 2 to go to the Singing Bridge, 3 to go to Lord Azur's Palace, or 4 to go to Barrow Hill. All so that we can find, chat, that gem. That gem. You want that gem. You need that gem. But where is it? Fog on the Barrow Hill. Could very well be. This is reminding me so much of the soundtrack to Arcanum. My goodness. The only exception being that Arcanum doesn't have drums. It's like just a string quartet on their own, but still pretty awesome. I want that gem all to myself. Now, you're part of the group, Echo. As we know, there is always honor among thieves. Hey, yeah, sponsor me, D&D movie. I'm all about it. We notice you've been talking a lot about D&D Honor Among Thieves. Perhaps you'd like to be sponsored by Wizards. Yes, I would. Now that you've worked out that whole problematic thing about the OGL, now that you've learned your lesson, please come talk to me. Oh, gosh, this is reminding me of something else, too. Ah. Wednesday. We're going to see it tomorrow, Echo. I am taking the kids who are on break, and as I said, my wife is away. So tomorrow, I am taking the kids, you'll be happy to know, to a place that's not, it's a little bit of a drive, but we're going to Old Mystic Seaport, which is a place where they have a lot of historic and historically repaired and restored ships, like old wooden ships. Ooh. And we're going there because tomorrow is Pirate Day. So they're going to be hunting treasure, and they're going to be like the whole bit. And so obviously my 6-year-old is going to be beside himself. But honestly, little Arv, my 15-year-old, was like, she's like, Dad, so do you think I could wear my pirate costume? And I was like, of course you can. So she and he are both going to have a blast. And after that, we're going to go early morning till basically like early afternoon, and then we're going to go see the movie. Super Mario Brothers movie. So
I want to go to the Pirate Fest too.
Right? It's so cool. You should look it up too, because it's all this
I
like
will wear my pirate outfit. I still have it in storage somewhere.
yeah. No, I was very much like, of course you can. She was she was like, but you could tell it was like that 15-and-a-half-year-old thing where she's like, is it okay that I still think that's cool? You know, type of thing. And I'm like, you know who you're talking to, right? Yes, you can absolutely wear your pirate outfit. Yes. So hi, Big Boss. And you know, this I'm enjoying this music so much that now I'm thinking I need to play this game. I heard mixed things about it, like I said, so I was like, I don't know, but all right, I'm gonna put this game up there as a maybe before the Suikoden.
Maybe.
Yep, Styx Master of Shadows as a hard maybe after Jedi Survivor and before the Suikoden 1-2 remaster, and before Live I Live, Eastshade, and then everything else that's happening.
Oh, that reminds me, I meant to tell you, I finally played Chrono Cross.
You did tell me this last time. You said that
I did.
you told me that you liked the music, but the combat system was bizarre, which is true. It is bizarre.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Well, it's not like mainly the issue that it's bizarre. It's mainly that it's boring.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
So boring.
You didn't like it, yeah. I see, but I think there's ways to do it so it's not as. I know what you mean. Like I totally know what you mean, but it was not to me awful part of that thing. So yes, like, but I know what you mean. And the music was still awesome.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we are going to close this to begin with. We're going to Barrow Hill by the will of chat. Yeah, where parents push other people's kids out of the way. Oh my goodness. Fortunately, we did not have that. We did do an Easter egg hunt. My son got 3 eggs. He's not, some of these kids too that were like racing from place to place. These kids did not push anyone out of the way, but it was just the speed. Like at a certain point, I'm like, dude, can Usain Bolt maybe take a break and let like normal humans get to some of these eggs? Because like this one kid is just like, I swear to God, this is 100% true. Runs along the fence and like freaking scoops up en route 2 eggs, like with just one hand. Like he was like literally leaning almost to go away from the fence to get to the next thing, scoops it up as he's on the way. I'm like, listen, I can't freaking compete with the Flash. Like, what? But let my poor kid. Jeez. But anyway, he did manage to get 3 eggs, and he also got a chocolate bunny lollipop. So he was very happy. It wasn't boring. It was the only thing you could do in the 80s. Well, Chrono Cross isn't that old though, Big Boss. I mean, it's older, but it's not that old.
2000 something.
Is it that? I thought it was late 90s, but mid to late 90s. But I agree. So there was still internet time, Big Boss. But I think Chrono Cross does suffer a little bit from a kind of weird combat system. But I think the story's great, and I think the characters are interesting, and the soundtrack is off the charts. So it's basically 3 good elements, and then I agree the combat's not amazing. I do agree with that. Okay, Barrow Hill. We're going to Barrow Hill. You know that the Eye of the Basilisk is hidden somewhere around Barrow Hill. Oh, God. But do you know how to get there? Oh, get ready for it, chat. You're going to love this one. Let me go back to the picture, all the picture, so we can get to the artwork. Okay. You should have 3 numbers written on your adventure sheet, representing 3 clues. So you take the first number of the clue from one place, the first number of the clue from the guild, first number of the clue from another place, put them together in order to give you a 4th number. When you found that number, turn to that paragraph to continue the adventure. If you do not have all 3 clues, or if you have the wrong ones, you have failed your test and must start again from paragraph 1. Yeah. So we may need to do this again, chat. I don't think we're gonna find what we need. Although we did get a clue there, which is that it is located around Barrow Hill. So let me just make a note. Note, Gem is somewhere around Barrow Hill. Hey, we got a clue. Well, it's not to get to do math. That would be one big of a problem. The bigger problem is that we don't have any of those clues because we couldn't get in anywhere. So my recommendation, chat, is going to be, rather than rebuilding our entire character, which seems silly, my recommendation is going to be that we take one of our skills and we replace it with pick locks, which we clearly desperately need. And I will say that one of the weaknesses of this book, I like this book, but one of the weaknesses of it that I've discovered is that it's very obvious that pick locks is like fundamentally important, and then they shouldn't even make that an option. Like if it's that important, don't make it a thing. It has to be, you just have to pick it, and like they don't do that. So that's frustrating that they should do that. So what we're going to do, chat, is we're going to take these 3 skills that we currently have, and we're going to replace one of them with pick locks, because you pretty much need to have it to succeed. So I'm going to open this up, and the question is, chat, do we get rid of pickpocket, do we get rid of spot hidden, or do we get rid of sneak? Now, I do know that we used spot hidden and sneak in our playthrough, but that means that, you know, pickpocket may be something we didn't use yet, but we could use later. But we have to replace one of these. So chat, which one of these would you like to replace pick lock with? Shall we get rid of pickpocket? Shall we get rid of spot hidden? Or shall we get rid of sneak? Well, that's funny, Emily. Yeah, the fact that it had candy was really the key. Man, that was, yeah, when my son found out that the eggs, because oh my gosh, where the mistress like, all right, so she's like, you know, and there's going to be right after, you know, the service, there's going to be this big Easter egg hunt. We're like, okay. And she's like, and of course, most importantly, inside each egg, there is candy. And my son looks at me with this wide-eyed, massive smile on his face, like he's just been given the key to existence. He's just kind of like, she was just like, the key, she was just like candy in the egg, and he's like, oh. And he like looks at me, and I just nod at him, and little Arv was cracking up because she was sitting next to me. It was very, very funny. So, okay, so do we get rid of pickpocket? I just remembered what else this soundtrack reminds me of. This reminds me of the soundtrack to Sherlock Holmes, the one with Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr., which I love. That's what this reminds me of also. Good choice, Tari.
Most welcome.
Okay, so looks like Chad is in agreement that we should probably mostly seem to get rid of pickpocket. But again, make sure that you get your votes in, chat. Last call here. You a Christian child when Vera came back with a giant candy cross? We do need to finalize it just at the end of our session today, Triffid. But yes.
So like your church did hosted the
Yeah.
The account. Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, they had one out front. This is a very liberal church.
Over here, like egg hunts tend to be like a private thing, just for the family, like they do in their own garden.
Oh, no, they make them, as was said before, as Triffid was saying, they sometimes make them into these ridiculous, like, competitive Running Man, you know, 50 kids enter, 1 kid leaves type of thing, you know, where people are just running around.
I think the biggest one was like when I was like a little kid, and like at one of like some extended family who have like a huge house with a huge garden, so they're like housed for like all the kids in the family, like a big old egg hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a dozen kids probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was still private, right? So.
Yeah. No, they do. I mean, now technically, I don't, you know, I guess you have to be like, go to the church to do it, I guess. But it definitely did not feel in any way like, you know, listen, no one's allowed to type of thing. Also, I mean, I guess, I'm trying to look here and see if there's other. No, I don't think so. We're just going to make it like what I made. I'm not going to give everyone a choice to do all these other things. Like, just replace one thing, which looks like is going to be pickpocket, and we'll see how the rest of this does. Pick lock. Okay, so instead of pick lock it, we pick lock. And if we need to pick someone's pocket and we don't do it, Emily will remember this day with fondness. Okay, the other thing is that all I'm going to reset is, we used our potion of fortune already, so I'm going to reset us back up to 9. And so we now have 12 skill, 19 stamina, 9 luck, 7 gold, and we have 10 provisions. And we know that the gem is somewhere around Barrow Hill. And now that we know all that, we're going to get started. So, as you will rue the day. Yeah, there's no. Jeez, Triffid. That would seem a little off, yes. Okay. As you leave the guild, your mind works quickly, listing the places where you might find some information as to the gem's whereabouts. Most of the rich merchants in the town have houses near the field gate. If you can find Brass's house, that's Brass, who's a rich merchant, you may be able to find some useful information there. Then again, the Merchants Guild is just across the market square, and if Brass is an important merchant, he's bound to have a suite of offices there. Finally, there's the Noose, the area of town around the Thieves Guild. You hardly ever see a merchant there, but it's the best place in Alancia for picking up all kinds of gossip and rumors. Where will you try first? So here we go, chat. And we know that we need to go to each of these locations now to get some clue. We don't know what, but we need to go to each of them. We found that out in our first... I won't call that a death. It's not a death count. I guess we'll say fail count. We'll say is 1. Or, no, delayed success count. That's more like it, right? Positive thinking, right? Right. Okay, so the Merchants Guild. Okay, so first choice is the Merchants Guild, chat. Second choice, oops, sorry. It's supposed to be Merchants plural guild. Second choice is Brass's house. Brass is the specific, like, really rich merchant guy that we know, or that might have this info. Or the Noose. After living count. Yeah, there you go, big exactly. Okay, so there you go, chat. $ vote space 1 to go to the Merchants Guild, 2 to go to Brass's house, and 3 to go to the Noose. Pre-resurrection experience. So what? So Tari, I'm loving this picture. What exactly is being? What are we making here?
Lord Azure.
Oh yes.
Azure.
Is like it looks like he's got a walking stick with the gem on top of it, which would be really cool if that's what actually was.
A little illusion, though. Like I obviously don't know if that's actually the thing that's happening. Also has like a little gem on his cravat.
Yep, could be it too. Where's the gem? Where is it? Okay, so we have 1 vote for Brass's house. We have 1 vote for the Noose. Now's your chance, chat, to get your vote in for where we're going to go to track down the gem of the not the gem of the basilisk, the eye of the basilisk. It is in fact a gem, but the eye of the basilisk. Also trying something new today up here, chat. It's going to be warm here. It's supposed to get to like 76, 77. So I have, which for early April is pretty warm. So I have started to get blinds put in for my skylights. I only have 1 in here so far, but eventually I'm going to have 1 on each of the windows that lets in light. I love light in here, but when it's hot and it's going to just heat up this place to a furnace, I'd rather not do that. So far I've put in 1, and it does seem to be keeping the heat down. And of course I don't have my air conditioning or anything turned on because I'm not going to do that yet. So we will see. I will say my solar panels are picking up a lot, which is awesome. So we have started, I think it's now covering about, it's up to like 60% every day of the electrical use is coming through solar, which is really cool. So want to keep that up.
Like,
but
that is like a lot, like considering how much you use your PC and everything, right?
That's probably true. We tried to make it so that we, yeah. Sorry. I just saw a note from my daughter. Yes, that's correct.
So like Azure, like that's like the color, right?
No, it's
Like
it's
A-Z-U-R-E?
it's AZZUR is how it's actually spelled.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm sure it's referring to that. Yeah, AZZUR. Yeah, like just keeping the light out is important, Echo. So yes, folks, let's get your vote in. Please get your vote in here. We have 1 vote each for Brass's house and the Noose. So please get your vote in. Where should we go first? Merchants Guild, Brass's house, or the Noose? $ vote space 1 for Merchants Guild, 2 for Brass's house, or 3 for the Noose. Please get your vote in. Oh yeah, that's really important, Emily. I don't think I've ever had a bladeless fan. Should I know what that is? What is a bladeless fan?
Well, there's like different versions of it, right? Like I used to have like a so-called like pillar fan, which has like a spiral in it. For example. But there's like other types, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there's like a thing called a Vornado that I see, which is, I'm assuming must be that then. It's a Dyson. He wouldn't let me get the Dyson. I don't... Oh, I thought... But Dyson's a brand though, right? I just was curious about what it was actually like. I only have the regular type fans that have blades on them. So I was curious. It sucks air in, but there's no exposed blades. Oh, I see. All right, I'm going to last call this. We do need someone to break this tie. Now, is Dyson expensive because good marketing, or is it expensive because it's legitimately, like, one of the best? I wonder. And it has an air filter? Yeah. We do have a couple of places that have the air filters. It's already way less dusty. Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah, that makes a huge difference. Yeah, and I have my mini split AC up here, which can keep things, but when it gets super hot, Echo, especially, I mean, I when I actually get the air conditioner, when we switch over to cooling, which we'll probably do in a couple of weeks, then it normally, the air conditioning works perfectly up here until it gets to like 93, 94, and then it just can't keep up here. It means it still keeps it cool, but it still gets up to like, I don't know, mid 80s in here, which is too hot. So that's why I got these blinds to hopefully help with that, and that will also save energy costs too, because I don't have to blow out the AC. Your brand spanking new AC. Yeah, congratulations. Okay, anyone else vote? I need a vote or a change vote, please, chat. Let's move to one of these places. I only have one vote each. Please get your vote in. Vote, vote, vote. Vote early, vote often. $ vote space. And then whichever one you want. Merchants Guild 1, Brass's House 2, Noose 3. Let's get those votes in. Make it happen. Make the vote occur. Well, Tari can vote, but Big Boss, I should have specified. Big Boss has now set it up, so whoever votes next is going to determine. Oh man.
Well, yeah, I can vote, but like I try not
Tries
to,
not
mainly
to.
because then I don't have to put the pen down and like grab
Exactly.
the keyboard and like.
Plus, she has all the secret information, you know, like the secret
Oh yeah, all
behind
the
the
secret
scenes.
information.
Yeah. She has to take an oath, and there's a whole ceremony. Here.
Sign an NDA.
Exactly. Okay. So much inside scoop. Yes, exactly. Okay, and Stu Mega has joined in. Thank you, Stu. All right, the noose it is. All right, we are heading over to the noose. So we're going to have to go to all three places eventually. So, all right, let's see what we got. As you make your way along the noose, you think about likely places for picking up information. At the edge of the noose is a tavern called the Rat and Ferret, of course it is, where thieves, beggars, and all sorts of people come to drink. The noose is always filled with beggars at any time of the day or night, and they see and hear all sorts of things. And on one side of the noose lives Madame Star, the clairvoyant. She spends her days in the market square telling fortunes, but at this time of night she would be at home. What will you do? Will you, as I pull this up, all right, what will you do? Will you go to the Rat and Ferret? Go to the Battered Mug? No. Or go to the Honest Thief. Visit Madame Star. It's a little bit too on the nose, isn't it? Madame Star. Or leave the noose, which doesn't make much sense because we just got there, but... All right. Here we go. So what's it going to be, chat? $ vote space 1, go to the Rat and Ferret, try to find a beggar by walking around the noose going, here, beggar, beggar. Visit Madame Star or leave the noose. Emily
Rat
would like
and
us...
what was it? Rat and Ferret?
The Rat and Ferret, try to find a beggar, visit Madame Star, leave the noose. Yes, it's called the Rat and Ferret. Some tavern with ne'er-do-wells in it. Right, I figured, Emily, you'd be all over wanting to visit someone like Madame Star. I mean, listen, we've already got a TariToons. What if we got a TariToons?
Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Got him.
Ugh. I have a box over there with like handmade, like what are they called? Rune.
Like rune stones, or?
Yeah, I guess like rune stone implies like a big fucking boulder.
Oh.
It has like engravings in it. Like little rune pellets.
Okay,
Pellets?
I guess, or
What are they called?
pebbles. Rune.
Pebbles. Aha, there's the word. Wow, I'm really, really tired. Um, those can be used for divination, but
That's
don't have
yeah.
any tarot cards.
Ah, I see. I have a couple of decks of those. As I said, a Rudinel there dropping the knowledge. So let's see. Invented the fanless air, the HEPA vacuum. Dyson Sphere was the first ultra-mobile vacuum. Contracted Samsung to manufacture it. Week before their product launch, Samsung launched the Samsung Powerball vacuum, which was identical except the label. They also did that with the Samsung IntelliWasher, which was a rebranded Whirlpool. I buy Dyson when I can because unlike the knockoff brands, they have an R&D division. I did not know any of that, Arudnell. Thank you. Now I actually know everything about the fanless, the bladeless fan, the etc. I'm waiting for someone to be like, they invented the airless fan, like the no air, and that's why they cost more. Hey, listen, now I know. I honestly didn't know that was the case, so now I do. All right, chat. So get your vote in. Should we go to the Rat and Ferret, try to find a beggar, visit Madame Star? Probably not leave the noose because we just got there, so that doesn't make sense to leave. So go ahead and get your vote in, please. Please, please, please vote. $vote space. And we're, in case for the people who just arrived, we are trying to gather information about where the Eye of the Basilisk is specifically. We have learned that the Eye of the Basilisk is somewhere in Barrow Hill, but we need a clue from each of 3 places, and one of the places is in the noose. So we're now in the noose, and so the question is Rat and Ferret, Beggar, or Madame Star. Which one of these should we visit? So get your vote in there. Oh, works via ionization. Is there a risk, though, about... Isn't there some risk about ionized air? I thought I remember hearing that there was a risk about air that's ionized. Is that not true? Am I just... not accurate? Oh, the air is already ionized? What am I thinking of then? Is there something that removes? Is there like a filter that removes ionization? Well, no. I know it's not radiate. It irradiates the room, and then you don't feel hot because you're dead. Yeah, wee. Absolutely. Let's get some wee-oos in chat. What's up, Red Lear? Thank you, man. Welcome. Thank you so much for the tier 2 sub. 52 months of support. That is crazy. Go nuts talk. That is 4 years and 4 months. So what's up, Red Lear? How you doing, man? How is the little one, who I'm sure now is actually 25 and a stockbroker, right? No, I'm just kidding. I know they're not. But I think they have passed a year, right? Aren't they right around, or they already went past a year for the not so new anymore arrival? It's good to see you, Red Lear. So yeah, chat, get your vote in, please. Let's get our votes in here. We only have 2 votes right now. We need more votes than that. Rat and Ferret, Find a Beggar, Madame Star. $vote space 1, 2, or 3, respectively. She's giving you a run for your money. She's so fast. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Know that feel. I have been there. Stu Mega with the extra vote. Okay. Well, we've set it up now so that the next vote will break the tie. That's good, though. But she's doing well, Red Lear. It's like a magnet that affects particles. Yeah. Listen, Runel, okay? I come to you for knowledge on quantum physics. If you can't provide... Okay. No, that's great. And also when you get to, the amazing thing is just watching the personalities develop. Like, I continue to marvel about this with both my kids. Just the personalities where I'm like, this person did not exist. And then this person has been created and now is their own thinking person that surprises me all the time with cool stuff. Like, it's just very cool. Whee! Thank you, Red Lear. Try to find a beggar. When in doubt, always try to find a beggar. Hey, and thank you for the cheer, Shadow. Appreciate that, man. Welcome. The 300, as it were. This is Sparta. Good to see you, Shadow. How you doing? How are things going, Shadow? Good to see you, man. Welcome. It is a pleasure to see you with us. Okay. You walk quietly along the noose, looking for a beggar. All beggars in Port Blacksand are members of the Thieves Guild. Oh, okay. And they can be a very valuable source of information. After a little way, you see Bargo the Wheeler trundling towards you along the darkened street. He was a soldier once, but lost both his legs in a war many years ago. Since then, he's been reduced to begging, pushing himself about the city in a little cart. Bargo recognizes you as you approach and greets you with a nod. Hello, young'un, he says. Out of your test, eh? You nod and ask him if he knows anything about brass. He shrugs. Just what everybody knows, he says. He's a big merchant with a house by the field gate and an office in the Merchants Guild. I can't be much help, I'm afraid. What will you do next? And let me make sure that I show you a picture of this guy, because I think it's important. Bargo the Wheeler. Huh? Okay, what? All of a sudden it's like, oh, you want images? Here, let me show you the Nissan Rogue. No, I don't want the Nissan Rogue. I don't want a car. Stop showing me the car. Oh my God, I put in Midnight Rogue and it's like, sure, no problem. Like, what? Fighting fantasy. Ha! See a guy holding a sword. Okay, I may need to show. Can someone explain why, when I do a search for that, what comes up here is... Hang on just a moment. So I did a search for Midnight Rogue Fighting Fantasy. And this is the image that pops up.
Yeah.
I report you decide.
Probably like somebody, like the person in the photo, like tweeted like, hey, gotta play this game tonight.
I guess.
And here's a selfie.
Just like, okay. Like, now we know what the Midnight Rogue looks like, apparently. Is that a wizard? I don't know. It's a very good question, and I'm not sure that we'll ever find out for sure. All right, I'm going to have to show it to you then, normally. They are a rogue. Okay. Listen, I wish I could provide more information. I wish I could. Okay, this is actually what the guy looks like. Not that. Hold on a second. Right. Okay, here we go. He looks like this.
Healthy?
Mm-hmm. That's our guy, Bargo the Wheeler. Is that cart four-wheel drive? One can only hope. One can only hope. So, here are our choices. So, he told us that that's what he knows. So, here are our options. We can either thank him and give him a gold piece. We have 7 gold pieces, so we do have some to give him.
Speaking of mobility aids, I saw a very interesting wheelchair last weekend, which was basically like a Segway with a chair on it.
Really?
So like a 2-wheel wheelchair, basically.
That's
Electric.
awesome.
Yes.
And it was like this, just like somebody like zipped past you while they were like going around the con.
Well, they weren't zipping around, too many people around to go zipping. But yeah, they were like just, enjoying the convention.
Mm-hmm. Did it move at a decent pace, or like because I'm thinking like how fast the Segway moves.
I didn't actually see it like move fast at all because like there were like too many people. It was like everybody was just basically sneaking around.
Yeah. That's cool though.
Because it was like so crowded.
Emily wants to know if the person could. By the way, chat, get your votes in now. So again, we just got here. So remember, we just got to the noose. So there's that. So we got this information. We can thank him and give him a gold piece. And by the way, thanking him and giving him a gold piece, we can do and then go to one of these other places, just so we know. So thank him and give him a gold piece, go to the Rat and Ferret, visit Madame Star, or leave the noose and try elsewhere. So we could do all of that. So giving him a gold piece does not mean that we won't be able to go to Madame Star, just so we're clear.
Also, I'm already drawing Madame Star, so we have to go to her.
Oh, yeah. No, I imagine that we will go there shortly. Oh, you found information about Bargo? Oh, nice. For some reason, I didn't see that in the wiki. Well, that's very helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Shadow. Yeah, so Emily wanted to make sure that that they couldn't actually fall over. But according to Rudinell, they probably can't because they're because of the way that it's designed. I've learned never to underestimate your Google Foo, Shadow. Yeah, it's exceedingly hard to fall over on one of those things because, as you say, it's the balance issue that's the problem. Okay, so chat, go ahead and get your votes in. I'm going to last call this. Are we going to thank him for the information, such as it was, and give him a gold piece? Are we going to go to the Rat and Ferret? Are we going to visit Madame Star? Or are we going to leave the news completely? It's always the writer's fault. Well, yes, probably. Greedism all the way.
Imagine that they wouldn't have had a wheelchair like this if they weren't confident in it keeping them off the floor.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting though. Right. All right. So Chad has decided they're going to give him a gold piece. Bargo takes the money and shoves it inside his jerkin. Oh, let me make... No reason to call him a jerkin. That's... Okay. Hang on, young'un, he says, rummaging in a sack which sits behind him in his little cart. Maybe I can do you some good in return. After a few moments, he pulls out a rope and grapnel. Nice. Freaking rope and grapnel.
What's a grapnel?
A grapnel is like a hook. Like a grappling hook, basically, like on the other end of a rope. While you have the rope and grapnel, you can climb as if you had the climb skill, unless a paragraph specifically states otherwise. If you already have climb skill, the rope and grapnel has no effect on your climbing ability. Make a note of the rope and grapnel on your adventure sheet. It counts as a backpack item. You leave Bargo pushing his cart through the dark alleys and decide on your next move. Nice! Got a rope and grapnel. Let's go. That is also all we can now carry, but... We can always drop something if we have to, and that's going to be very useful. He just happens to be carrying it along. Well, you know, he had no use for it, so it made sense for us to use it, I guess, is the theory. Okay, so... All right, so now we can, having done that, now we can choose one of these options. So we can go to the Rat and Ferret. We can visit Madame Star. It does sound to me like that's where people want to go, especially my illustrator appears to think this. Or we could leave the noose and try elsewhere. So since this, he wasn't attached to it. Wow, Big Boss. Wow. He likely has 2 or 3. He obviously goes places he shouldn't. That's true, actually. But then why would he give his away unless what Arudinal said is true, which is that he has 2 extra, 3 extra, something like that. Well, that's pretty good. That was worth it. Okay.
Well, it could be that since they are all members of the Thieves Guild, right?
Right.
That this was like a thing set up by the Thieves Guild.
Right. That could very well be. And yeah, Runo just said he snags a new one from the guild. That's right. Listen, there's no need for him to reel anyone in. Okay. He doesn't need to be tied down. I mean, you think he needs some story hook? It's all fine. For this guy, nothing should be insurmountable. You never just carry along one shuriken. That's true. You have multiple shuriken. So, like, everyone that he just says, like, multiple ropes and grapnels. That actually would be a really interesting character, is a guy like that who just sells, like, the best quality, like, grappling hooks and ropes in the city or something. You're getting hooked on those puns? I don't blame you. We're all brought together by a common thread, Big Boss, and that's one of them. And I'm afraid there are more where that came from. All right. Everyone is excited to visit Madame Star. Can't blame you. He's the fantasy Yeah, he's Q. Not QN on Q, but Q, the other Q. He's the fantasy equivalent of the gadget guy who passes toys out to the agents of the field. Now, please try not to get this rope stuck, man Greyblade. Except he needs, like, Q would need, like, he'd need to refer to No Man by, like, a 00 something. All right, 0013, please make sure that... Don't touch that. Yeah. Oh, God. Desmond Llewellyn, who played that role for, I forget how long, like, probably 3 decades, I think. Don't touch that. It's my lunch.
What are you talking about?
This is all James...
Like, at first I thought you were, like, talking about Star Trek, but...
No, not that Q. That's another Q. No, this is the... Q is the letter reference in... basically short for quartermaster in the James Bond films. He's the person that Bond goes and he gives him all his gadgets, like his cars and his, watch, and it may be a trap, like Afraid Not. Ha ha! There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Quick, someone halt her before she puns again. Yeah, let's go. What I love about this is that while Tari's working, Madame Star is giving me more of a side eye with every like passing second. All right.
Well, you deserve it. So.
Yeah, I totally do. I completely agree. All right. Visit Madame Star. All right. You walk along the noose towards Madame Star's cottage. Your trained eyes pick out a number of beggars, pickpockets, and cut purses skulking in the shadows, but no one bothers you. Everyone in the noose knows that you were an apprentice on your test. Finally, you reach the little tumble-down cottage where Madame Star lives. She's a little surprised when she answers the door, but offers to read your future for 2 gold pieces. You still have 6. If you have 2 gold pieces... Okay, so it looks like... or we don't have to pay. I'll put this... Or do we don't wish to pay? So I will put this up here, chat. It does say if you have 2 gold pieces or if you don't wish to pay. So $vote space 1 means we pay the 2 gold pieces to get our fortune read. $vote space 2 means we don't. This is music for getting our fortune read, by the way. Fortune read, fortune read. Fight for the heart. It's $vote space 1 to pay Madame Star 2 gold pieces so she can read our fortune. We just arrived. So do we give her 2 gold pieces or not? Basically is what it is. So $vote space 1 is we do. $vote space 2 is we don't. Also, welcome to the Arvanauts, Spurples. Welcome. Spurples. Fun story from Tesla early days. Shareholders wanted Elon to contract with Samsung to build the motors and batteries. Refused and built the factories. Donated Samsung smart cars coming out of... Oh, so Elon had seen the ways, Arudnell, I see. Fortune tellers are just a bunch of shysters. I see. Interesting. So we go to Madame Star to get info, and all of you are like, nope. I shouldn't say all of you. 2 of you are like, nope, don't pay for that info.
Yeah, all making me Google words again.
Oh, which word?
Shyster.
Oh, a con man,
Ah.
basically. Yeah. Sneak around to find out.
Sounds Yiddish, maybe.
Dollar. Okay, so going once, going twice. Okay. All right. So we have paid 2 gold. Oh, sorry, Rudnell, but I would have gotten you were voting along with chat anyway. Sorry. Okay. So, although speaking of that, while we're on that subject, I should mention that while we're on the subject of voting, make sure to get your vote in here because at the end of our session today, I'm going to close this poll down. Right now, it's whether I will be playing The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, Star Control 2, or Songs of Conquest, which is a Heroes of Might and Magic inspired game. Right now, Sonic the Hedgehog and Star Control 2, The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, or Star Control 2 are tied with 6 votes each, and Songs of Conquest has got 4 votes right behind. So you have until the end of the session today to make that decision. Okay. So Madame Star takes your money and leads you into her front parlor. Showing you to a chair, she sits on the other side of a small table and gazes deeply into her crystal ball. She tells you that you are looking for something valuable and that it is hidden in a dark place, a place of death. She says that before you find what you're looking for, you must look in a place of sleep and a place of work. This is an important clue. Make a note of the number of this paragraph on the adventure sheet. Okay, now remember, chat, that's good because we needed to know this. So, clue numbers. 289 is our first one. So I just went straight on, Tari, to the Styx Shards of Darkness one, which I think is the next one that popped up for me on YouTube.
Yes.
I can give you the link if you need it, but otherwise...
No, I have it.
You got it? Okay.
Like a live recording thing, right? Like with people actually playing.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
It looks like it doesn't do it the whole time, just a little bit. Oh man, that bassoon getting some work. Love it. Okay, good stuff. So, we have gotten the clue. Good job, chat. Way to go. So now the question is, we've already looked for the rat and ferret. Beg your pardon. We've already looked for a beggar. So, we are going to, because it's the only place left to go before we leave the noose, we're going to go to the rat and ferret. Okay. You go into the rat and ferret. The bar is lit by smoky oil lamps, and the pipes and cheroots of the inn's customers add to the peculiarly, thank you, rich atmosphere. The landlord, Bald Maury, looms behind the bar like an unfriendly mountain. At a table to one side, 3 disreputable-looking men are paying pinfinger, stabbing a knife into the table between their fingers faster and faster. You go to the bar and open a mug of ale. Actually, order a mug of ale, which is what you do with mugs. Cross 1 gold piece off your adventure sheet. So that brings us down to 3 now. What will you do now? Will we, $vote space 1, ask Bald Maury if he knows anything about brass, or 2, ask to join in the game of pinfinger? So $vote space 1 is ask Bald Maury if he knows anything about brass. 2 is join in the game of pinfinger.
Hey, cat. Could you please get off my desk? Thank you.
That's right, knifey spoony. Pinfinger. So this vote is whether or not we are going to ask Bald Maury, the barkeeper, if he knows anything about brass, Or then Brass, remember, is the merchant. That's the place. One of the places we have to go is to Brass to find out more info. Or 2, ask to join in the game of Pinfinger. So choice 1 is to ask Baldmar if he knows anything about Brass. 2 is ask to join in the game of Pinfinger, which is where basically like knifey spoony, or where you're stabbing the knife between multiple fingers at once, like very fast, trying to avoid cutting off your finger.
You're trying to avoid cutting off your finger, then why would you play this game?
It's an excellent question, but usually it has something to do with money.
Ah, yes, of course.
And it looks like... This is very funny. What I love about this is that chat is doing... I just want to be clear. This is totally fine. We can do this. I just want to be clear that chat is doing something that it would never do in real life. Like, you'd never be like, oh yeah, I'll risk my finger. Like, no way. Not happening. But we have to show off our knife skills. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, but like most role-playing stuff is stuff you wouldn't do in real life.
That's true. I suppose that's right. Gives you a chance to be like, sure, I'm a risk taker. Not in real life. Okay. You go over to the men who are playing Pinfinger and ask if you can join in their game. They agree readily, explaining that you must flick the point of the dagger between your fingertips as fast as you can for a full minute. If you can do this without stabbing yourself, they will pay you 10 gold pieces. If you fail, you must pay them 5 gold pieces. So, let's see. Question is, do you wish to change your mind about the game? Or do you wish to talk to Bald Mori? So $vote space 1 is change your mind about the game to talk to Bald Mori. Choice number 2 is actually play. So basically choice number 1 is talk to Bald Mori. Choice number 2 is play. Now that you know what the deal is. So 1 is Bald Mori, 2 is play. And I guess, I mean, I will say this. Well, yeah, I was going to say, let me see what the vote is, because I have the whole entry here in front of me that I can read. So I don't want to kind of like, well, look, it's the same information you would have if you were reading the book. So to be clear, it says if the result is less than or equal to your skill score, you roll 2 dice. If it's less than or equal to your skill score, you get 1 result. If it's more than your skill score, you get another. Well, we have a skill of 12. So, unless I'm missing my guess, I don't see the negative here. So, it's probably fine to do it, is what I'm saying. Because they have, and like, literally, it says it right there. Like, you can less than or equal to your skill score. So if anyone wants to change their vote with that knowledge. Oh no, Triffid. Eesh. Okay, so we're tied up, chat. $vote space 1 means talk to Bald Mori. $vote space 2 means we play. And I will say that it doesn't look like you can lose when you play. I can tell you that because it says it in the exact same entry. So, like, because we have a skill of, like, you need a skill of 12 or less. Yeah, the power of Clippy. This drummer is rocking out. All right, chat. So I'm going to last call this. We need someone to break this tie. $vote space 1 means talk to Bald Mori. $vote space 2 means we play. Ooh, there is is the Japanese instrument called a shamisen? I think it's a 2 or 3 stringed instrument.
Well, there is a Japanese instrument called that, but I don't know if that's being played.
But it's the one that, that has the kind of very twangy, that kind of very twangy sound.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I think that's what she's playing in this. It is a shamisen, yes, Omega. No, no, no. One was talk to Baldmori, 2 was play. Sorry if that was confusing, Effect Life. Yeah, there really isn't. It's and again, I literally would not tell you that if it didn't say literally in the same paragraph that like equal to your skill score. I was like, okay, well then. So okay, Echo, you can roll those 2 dice. You need to get a 12 or less. I always like to clear the dice, as I say, to get whatever that roll is going to be. You got, yeah, 2d6. Yes. 2d6, please, sir. 2d6. Yeah, it's a free 10 gold pieces. Like, when I saw the thing, I'm like, oh. That's why having a good skill really helps. Five total. That's totally fine because all you need to do is get equal to or less than the skill score. So we got it. And it says, as we look over at this we're never going to fail score, the men stare in amazement as you flick the knife expertly between your fingers. It moves faster and faster, tapping the table between your fingers but never touching them. At the end of a minute, you hand back the knife, smiling. The men hand over 10 gold pieces. Hell yeah! Let's go. Up to 13 gold. That's what I'm talking about. You try to engage them in conversation, but it quickly becomes clear that they know nothing of interest to you. You will have to look elsewhere for information. So now the question is, chat, do we ask Baldmori what he knows about brass, or do we leave the noose? Because we've done everything else there is to do here. So do we ask Baldmori what he knows about brass, or do we leave the noose completely? It's true. Ooh, really? Oh my goodness, Rudnell. They were. That's true. And there is, as we know, Honor Among Thieves in a theater near you. Please sponsor me with it. Okay, last call, last call. Yeah, I can only I can only imagine. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Baldmori time. Okay. When the sun hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's Baldmori. Okay. You ask Baldmori if he knows... Terrible song reference. You ask Baldmori if he knows anything about brass. Certainly, he says with a wink. What's it worth? Are you prepared to pay for information? Well, we do now have 13 gold, chat, so if we pay for information, the way it describes it is how many gold pieces will we offer, and then we roll one die. If the die roll is equal to or less than the number of gold pieces you offer, then obviously we succeed, apparently. If not, then we go somewhere else and presumably are not successful. So we could basically offer between 0 means we leave. So we can leave, or we can offer 0 gold pieces. 1, 2, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. All right, chat. What should we offer? We have 13 gold, right? So the way it works is we're going to roll 1 die, and it's going to be equal to, or if it's equal to or less than the number we gave him, then we will succeed and he'll give us information. So we can either leave, that's $vote space 1, or we can pay zero. Actually, zero gold pieces means we're not going to win. So please don't vote for that. I shouldn't have given that as an option. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we can either leave and just be like, the hell with this, or we can pay him based upon the amount that we want. And you should be paying him either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 0 was silly. Yeah, exactly, Rudinell. I feel like the fact that we won Pinfinger means that we're now in a better spot to be able to do this, I think. One way or the other. I mean, I don't know how good his info is. He might be like, I heard his name rhymes with ass. Like, I mean, who knows how good the quality of his work is. His work ethic. I am super digging this soundtrack because I just love the instrumentation of it. It's very cool. This is the soundtrack, Shadow, to Styx, Shards of Darkness. We listened to the soundtrack to Styx, Master of Shadows, which is a game that I'm obviously going to have to try now. I have added it to my list after Jedi Survivor. So, yeah, exactly, Rudno. I have a character in one of my novels, which may or may not rhyme with Blade. That one was for Emily. But which Blade. Flade. But anyway, one that rhymes with that. There may be a character that has information. Everybody hates them, but is information so good that no one can afford to remove him. Yes, it is in a parallel universe to Greystick, although it is not quite that universe, but it is in a connected universe, one might say.
Arvin Eleron Extended Universe.
I had one done. Prince Justin was kind enough to make a map of the world of Arvin Eleron once. It was very cool. It's one of those ooh things.
Very nice.
I'm also loving this. I like he's like, hey, here's a and I love the little the glow lines or whatever they're called around the grappling hook. Yeah, the ACU version of Greystick. Yeah, exactly. The Arvin Cinematic Universe version. Oh man. Hey, listen, if any of you saw the trailer for Ahsoka, which is coming out later this year, you saw that Thrawn officially makes his return. That was the worst kept secret in Star Wars, that they were going to have Thrawn. But Thrawn, of course, is from the extended universe, whatever the hell it's called, from Disney, of Star Wars, by Timothy Zahn, a person that I actually have met and been at conferences with him multiple times. So Thrawn finally gets his due. Star Wars fans have wanted Thrawn to be in something for a while, so the extended universe can have all this value. Yay for Greystick. I still use a map that Emily put together to help explain. The sort of quick version of this is that Renegade, when I first wrote it, was using some of the original world of Ed Greenwood, although by that point I'd gone off in my own direction largely. But the world of Ed Greenwood, like the way that the map that they had given me was like the compass rose was wrong again. So like north was right or something. I was just like, oh God. So Emily was kind enough to figure it out and then like actually show the path through the nation of Silarain, which is where Greyshade is the big sort of focal point of Renegade. And Greystick was the actual character going through it. So yes, Big Boss knows of this, of course. Knows this detail. All right, so we're going to give 6 gold. He takes it and says, blow it out your ear. No, just kidding. He doesn't say that. All right, so Echo, if you could roll a single die for us. So far, Echo, you've had to roll 2 6-sided die that 12 or less. This one, you have to roll 1 6-sided die that will be 6 or less so far. the heck is this? There's a book called Helm Quest that they advertise at the back of Fantasy Quest books, 32 pages full color. The Path of Peril, Starflight Zero, Helm Quest, and the Tasks of Tantalon. Can you steal the Brimstone Dragon's treasure hoard? Will you find a way to free Sir Dunstable from imprisonment in the Stin Dungeon? And how will you catch the demon fish? How will we catch the demon fish? Hence to orient a map. East being on top is the old traditional ways for maps. Fair enough, but it just I can't get my head around that though. Shadowed, you know, like north is up. Oh no, Stu Mega, oh no. Ow is right. Okay, so roll the 2. Good stuff, Echo. Yes, success. So it is equal to or less. He says, quote, Bald Mori takes your money and leans over the bar. He's a big merchant, he says in a low voice. His symbol's a coin, and it's on everything that's his. That goes for his house, too. It's on the corner of Short Street and Field Street, just by the field gate. He dips a finger into your ale and sketches a symbol on the bar top. If you have secret signs skill, which we do not, then we turn somewhere else. But let's put the clues down that we know. We know that Brass's house is on the corner of what and what now? Short Street and Field Street. By the field gate. Symbol is a coin. Okay. Lovely. I've done something worse with jalapeno fingers. Okay.
Picked your nose.
Oh, so bad. Peeing after dicing jalapenos is the worst. Oh, okay, I'll just...
Have you tried washing your hands after?
Yeah, like let's... I think all of these people are saying this, Tari, with regret. I read this as this is all regret stories. Anyway,
I'm sure some people do this because they're like into it.
That's
like,
troubling.
Statistically speaking, that has to be a thing, right?
That is... I would assume so. That does seem troubling. Mari sees
I am trying to keep things PG on this channel for Arf's sake. I'm not going to say out loud what I was actually thinking.
I have a couple of theories, and I will just, you know... Yeah, how innocent, Tari. Yep.
Yeah, me, the most innocent one.
Yes, the most of innocence. Mari sees that you don't understand the symbol and hurriedly wipes it out with his hand. He turns his back on you and begins to clean some mugs very busily. You try to attract his attention again, but he doesn't seem to notice you. Okay, we already did pin finger, so we now leave the tavern. And actually, I think we also leave the noose because we have done what we needed to do with that. Okay. So you leave the darkened alleyways of the noose and head out into the rest of the town. Okay, chat, we got our clue from the noose. That was very successful. So I'm actually going to give us a save point there because good job by us. Now the question is, do we go to Brass's house? Because we did get information about Brass's house now. Although we may not have known all the information, we might need to also get info from the Merchants Guild too, which we have to go to both of these places. So $ vote space 1 means we go to the Brass's house. $ vote space 2 means we go to the Merchants Guild. So which of the two do we want to go to? It was that or the brand new jeans. I chose poorly, should have sacrificed the jeans. Yes. Yes. Sacrificing the jeans in that case. Grippy socks. Yeah. I honestly, I don't like walking around places barefoot most of the time, so I always have slippers. But also because, especially in the winter, I want my feet to be warm. So
yep.
I'm always about the slippers. I get
thick fluffy socks and slippers.
Absolutely.
That's the way to go.
And you want one that has like a hard enough sole so that it's not like as if you were walking around with a, you know.
Thick rubber soles.
Yeah.
Oh no. The ones on mine are cracked all the way through.
Oh, so time to
replace these soon. Which is sad because like I mended these a bunch of times. There's like a oak leaf shaped patch on one of these now, where like my big toe had worn through the felt.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Well, now the time has come to get one of the Netherlands brand slippers. I'm sure they have amazing slippers in the Netherlands.
They
You
totally
wouldn't
have
shoe.
different brand shoes in the
Yeah, I was
Netherlands
gonna say
than they
no.
have in Germany.
Use one of the clogs, right? I mean, that's where they came from. Just get a clog.
Actually, considering that they sell like work clocks on the store at a store nearby, like but no.
The power of work
My
clogs.
poor neighbors. Cluck, 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 cluck.
And then you need to make sure you carry 2 tulips back into the house with you, and you too can be.
That's like part of becoming a Dutch citizen, like the citizenship test.
Right. Can you hold back the water in a dam, and can you hold tulips?
Not a dam, a dike.
Oh, sorry, that's right. It would not be a dam; it would be a dike. That's right. That's correct. Okay, so $ vote space 1 chat if you wish to go to Brass's house. 2 if you wish to go to the Merchants Guild. Get those votes. Grippy socks with toes, huh? Silicone adhesive. Shoe goo. Yeah, Rudnell's recommending shoe goo. I actually have used that once, not on slippers, but on shoes.
What is shoe goo?
It's like he says it's like a silicone adhesive, which is what I remember it being used for fixing shoes. Been a long time since I used it.
I can probably fix this with like PVA glue.
But then you wouldn't be able to say that you used shoe goo.
Oh, of course. But if you used glue on the shoe, then the glue automatically becomes shoe glue.
It's shoe glue. But do you want shoe glue? Then it gets stuck, as opposed to shoe goo.
Oh, shoe goo.
Right. Or mushu.
Well, I could
where
put
you can actually
glue
have
on my shoe,
Chinese
then I would
food.
have shoe goo.
That's true. What if it gets sticky even though it's goo, so that it becomes shoe goo glue?
Goo glue.
True. Yes, Big Boss. Woohoo. Oh my god. I love that we're actually doing this out in the street. We're like shoe glue goo, and like every cut person is like, what's wrong with that Burke, eh? Like as they walk by. Oh man. Your grippy toe socks make Vera angry. Why would Vera be angry because you are keeping your feet warm and safe from glass? Why would that? Why angry? Yeah, right. Shoe glue. Woo! See, Red Lear? Red Lear is like, the hell with these people. We did throw in, to be clear, a Wii U again as part of our rhyme fest with glue. Toe socks are like gloves for your feet. Thinks it looks like your feet look like hands, and that's weird. Ah, I see.
Well, some people are into that as well. So.
Yes. Now, if you combined jalapeno... Okay, I'm not even going to... I'll just leave that alone.
Jalapeno feet. Oh, now we're getting spicy.
Spicy. Joke had a lot of soul. Right there. He's trying to toe the line. Okay. Nailed it. All right, right. Which is why you wave at them with your feet. Okay, well then that... Seeing toe shoes empty is like seeing amputated feet. Yeesh. Well, actually Russ used the toe shoe. The problem I have with the toe shoe is I don't want to feel the ground below me in like when I'm walking around outside. Like again, I give me sneak. I don't like even sandals. I have one pair of sandals that I like, which are from a company called Keen. And I do like those, but I do not like sandals otherwise. I want socks and shoes. They can be like the ankle sock, like the small, the low rise socks, so to speak, but Oh yeah, well. Yeah, the toe socks. Okay. Going once, going twice. The Merchants Guild it is. 29. The Merchants Guild is on the south side of the market square, opposite the Noose. The square is quiet now. All the market stalls have been packed away, and you see no one as you make your way across. You keep to the edge of the square, hugging the shadows. The last thing you want is to be stopped and questioned by the city guard tonight of all nights. When you are about halfway across, you suddenly notice a movement among a clump of trees in the middle of the square. Okay, so here's why we're not going to go towards this movement, chat. Because since we have actually played this before, hold on, let me just confirm that we played this, and I already know what this does. Right. Yes. So we already know what this is. It's a ghoul, and we're not going to attack it. The last time we got ambushed by this ghoul and we barely escaped, so we're not going to do that again. We did manage to kill it, but there was nothing on it, so forget that. Never mind. That's the benefit of playing through this a second time. So we're going to cross the square to the Merchants Guild. It is an imposing building built in stone and several stories high. Facing onto the square is the great main door set into a deep doorway and made, so you have heard, of hardwood imported from the far south, even beyond the Desert of Skulls. From the shadows you can see that the door is closed. It is manned by a single armed guard who does not appear to have noticed you. What will you do? Okay, we could hide and watch the guard. One big difference between the last time we came here, chat, is that we have a rope now. We also have money, which we didn't have a lot of the last time. Try to bribe the guard, or look for another way in? Question mark. Hey, what's up, Flying Enemy? Yeah, the previous playthrough ended with the fact that we found out where the general area of the gem is, but we had no idea anything else because we had no clues. So we redid the character in one respect. We switched out pickpocket for pick lock, which was important. We've now been to the Noose, which is this area of the city. We got one clue that we needed. We need one clue from each place. The Merchants Guild, Brass's house, and this and the Noose. So we got our clue from the Noose. We also found out where Brass's house is, and we got a rope and grapnel, so like a grappling hook, from a beggar. And so now we went to the Merchants Guild, and we are outside there. So you remember where the gem is and how to get there? See. But see, we can't do that, Flying Enemy, because you have meta knowledge from beyond the dawn of time, as it were. Know what I'm saying? The door is staffed by an armed guard. That's true. The door currently is my son yesterday. So we went to this overnight thing. We had planned this for a while. So because my wife is away and the kids are on vacation, I took them yesterday, actually Sunday into Monday, to an indoor water park, which we've never been to. The kids love water parks, but we've never actually been to an indoor one. So they had a great time there. I am glad that I got one of... I spent, like... They had, like, a deal going on, which allowed me to spend much less. And then when you get there, it was, like, microtransaction city. And I'm like, nope, not that one either. So I managed to avoid spending anything else there for the most part, but oh my God. But anyway, so when we got there, I completely forgot why I started this. It was because of the remembering where the gem is and how to get there. Why did I begin to tell this story? I completely forgot why I was... Oh, the staffed by an armed guard. That's why. So it was Triffitt's thing. So he's like, you know, doing all these different things. And it was cool. They had like water slides, which we loved. And the lazy river, although this was not a very lazy river. It was kind of a busy river, actually. And then they had this like lily pad, like obstacle course thing, which since I've told you all, my son is literally like Mr. like, you know, ninja warrior obstacle course guy, all that stuff. So he just like, you know, he blew through it and he was one of the younger people there doing it, and the people were like, whoa. I was like, yeah, that's right, that's my son with the power of agility. So he loved it, and he ran through that like 19 times. He loved the lily pad thing. But anyway, so at one point there had been a few times where they've got lifeguards everywhere there because it's a water park, and they have a couple times where they're blowing whistles because some, you know, kid gets too close to the rope that like separates them from the deep end, and the lifeguard's telling them not to hang on the rope. Stuff that if you've ever been to a public pool or any place like this, you'll hear all the time, right? But my son didn't know about this sort of... The whistles were pretty loud. So my son at one point is like, Daddy, I don't like lifeguards. I'm like, what? He's like, why? And at first I'm like, do I have to go into some big dramatic explanation? He's like, well, because they hurt my ears. I'm like, oh, you mean the whistle? I'm like, okay. I'm like, yes. I'm like, the whistles are a little loud, but lifeguards are important because what would happen if we didn't have any? He's like, we would just get to do what we want. I'm like, well, yes, maybe. I was like, that's a good point. So I said, I didn't say no. I was like, you're right. I said, but do you think some people might do some things that are dangerous? He's like the boy that tried to cross when I was crossing the lily pads and he almost banged into me. I'm like, yes, like that boy. He's like, oh, okay. Then I like lifeguards then. I was like, all right. So it was one of those like veering towards meaning of life things that immediately veered away when it was clear that this would have saved him from dealing with the annoying kid that tried to cross when he did. It was very funny. Oh, speaking of children. Yes, my love.
It's me. Hello. I want mac and cheese. You guys get mac and cheese and Pirate Day and indoor water parks.
Yeah.
What do I get?
You get lifeguards are the ultimate arbiters of life and death, like Anubis. Yeah, good job. Well, it worked out, Triffid. It worked out. I'm not muted anymore. No, I know. I wasn't trying to. I was talking to my daughter, so that's why I was muted. It was pretty impressive.
Or muted anyway, though.
Well, I wasn't muted to you. I didn't mute the Zoom call.
Oh.
Yeah, not mute anymore. The lifeguards also, he was a little confused.
Secret information.
That's why I told you the behind the scenes. Like, the lifeguards were doing also this thing where they walk along, and I don't know. This is a thing within the last 5 years, I would say, at least that I've started noticing it, where they're all trained to do this. And at first you're like, are you okay? Because like they're like doing this all the time. And I read about it. They basically do two things now to keep lifeguards from phasing out when they're at a spot. Number one, they rotate them around the park. So lifeguards don't just stay at like one ride. They go from one ride to another ride. Like every half hour they move them around, and they do that on purpose because they want to change their eye level and they want to keep them from it's not that they would fall asleep, but just sort of phasing out, because someone who is in distress in the water can be in distress very quickly. So they do that, and they also train them to move their heads up and down to scan the area, but also because if you're doing this, the chances of you phasing out and like losing is almost nil. And they did studies to show that when you train them in both of those ways, like actual incidents at either, like parks or anything like that, drops to almost nothing based upon where it was before. Which is why when I go to my public beach and the lifeguard is sitting in the same place for an hour and not moving their head, I'm like, is that okay thing with stuff? Okay, that's not true. Emily, you should not sell yourself short. Please keep in mind that you wave at your children with your feet. So just be aware that you'll always have that. Let's keep that in mind. Okay, we're gonna look for another way in. And also, yes, Tari, mac and cheese is very good. I agree with you. Okay, you follow the alley along one side of the Merchants Guild. After a few yards, it turns right sharply, and a few feet after that, you see an even narrower alley running off to your left, coming to a dead end after a few yards, with a door on the left and a drain pipe leading up past a window to the roof. Will you go down the alley to your left, or will you carry on round the building? $vote space 1 means go down the alley to your left. $vote space 2 means carry on around the building. Carry on my wayward son. That's not meta knowledge, flying enemy, because because this sort of assumes that you went back to square one, but not that you had to learn everything new. Like, I'm not going to erase all the clues and be like, okay, remember. Like, that one is fine. That's not knowledge of having won the whole thing or anything like that. Yeah, it is very odd to look at, Emily, and it makes you wonder how much the lifeguards are like, oh my god, but apparently it makes a huge difference. So it prevents you from relaxing at all. Yes, because they really don't want that. And what they proved was that, and the thing is, the one thing that they said balances out the whole like, oh my god, is the fact that the lifeguard, when they rotate them, it does also, like, lifeguards do prefer that because they don't like staying in one spot the whole time. Now, I don't know. I haven't read anything about lifeguards saying whether they like having to do this all the time. But we like toes here. Why shouldn't we like footpaths? Interesting point. Go down the aisle to the left or carry on round the building. Carry on my wayward son. Cry no more. Do 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 boo do boo boo booch boo booch. Did you? You knew that was coming, Triffid? When I signed up for a lifeguard, I only wanted to relax. My dad actually wanted to be a lifeguard in the state of New York, and initially he wasn't a good enough swimmer, and he worked really, really hard over the course of the next year so that the next time, because they had a whole state like exam that you had to pass, and then they assigned you to different regions of the state or whatever. And the second time he ended up being, like, I think in the top 10% or 15% of people that applied for lifeguard that year because of that. So, and he actually taught me to swim. And I still have one of my most vivid memories is we had this lake near my house where I grew up, not a lake, really a pond where I grew up, and they had a whole swimming area. And I remember I had gotten out the classic I got out too far thing. And I was like struggling because I wasn't really swimming. I wasn't really a great swimmer at that time. And I was kind of like, and I remember very vividly, like, looking above the water and seeing my dad swimming towards me, just like very confidently, and then grabbed me and brought me back, no problem. But I always will remember that image of like him coming towards me to help me. Cause I don't know if I would have drowned, but I was definitely struggling. I was not able to, and he was paying attention. So, otherwise we wouldn't be having this discussion, chat. I would not be here. Yeah. And I must have been like I couldn't have been older. I left New Jersey when I was 7. I probably was 5 or 6. So. Right. Exactly. Rudnell. No head nodding and some foot waving. Yeah. Core memory. It really felt like that, honestly. Some certain things like that where I'm like, woo, like this flash. Okay, so we are going to go down the alley to your left, okay? You walk stealthily down the side alley, which appears to be deserted. Will you open the door? Will you climb the drain pipe? Now, one thing to remember, by the way, flying enemy, just so you know, we do have a rope and a grappling hook now, which we didn't have before. So we now can climb as if we had the climb skill, unless it specifically tells us that we can't. So just letting you know, since that is information you might not have known before. Whoops. Round the building. There we go. And I managed to drop the New Jersey accent. Yeah, I got out of there before that happened. I grew up in Connecticut, which is why, to me, Connecticut accent always feels very neutral. There's some people who are like, oh, I can hear a and I'm like, I think Connecticut doesn't really, because you don't get into that kind of like, yeah, forget about it, you know, type of like Brooklyn, you know, heavy Brooklyn, New York thing, nor leave your khakis and you go to the bat and all that, like the Boston stuff. So I was right in the middle and didn't get either of those things. I was watching a little bit of a scene from Good Will Hunting a couple of days ago, and I forgot how much Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and of course Robin Williams, but especially those first two, just lean into the accent. Yeah, you're wasting your time here. Such a good movie on intelligence. Gotta pack the cat and have it yet. Yep. And of course, I again marveled. I'm like, oh my God, were Matt Damon and Ben Affleck like 16 in this movie? Like they were just so young. Sort of be like, you in some years are going to play Batman, and you are going to be an epic spy, and like, so, but. Very, very good film, though. Okay, $ vote space 1 is open the door. 2 is climb the drain pipe. And 3 is continue walking around the building. Oh. That fan looks awesome, but that, oh, it's so sad. That trauma thing is it's so sad. Oh my goodness. Must have been pretty young. Okay, so right now we're climbing the drain pipe. So, last call on this. Going once to climb the drain pipe. Going twice to climb the drain pipe. Okay. All right, we're climbing the drain pipe. We are going to see what happens. Let's do it. Let's do this. You start to climb the drain pipe. You do not need climb skill or a rope and grapnel because the drain pipe is an easy climb. You climb to the window but find it securely barred, so you decide to carry on to the roof. Suddenly, you hear a slight grating sound above you. You look up to see that one of the decorative gargoyles on the roof of the Merchants Guild, oh man, we've seen this before, has come to life. It launches itself off its perch and flies down to attack you, and you prepare to defend yourself as best as you can. All right, so let's see. And I think we already know about the deal with this, which is that this is the thing where we had to use some other means. Oh, yes. I remember that we used the cloak before, but we have something different here.
We don't have a cloak anymore.
Nope, we don't. But we do have a rope and grapnel, which it does theoretically allow us to use. So, here we go. So, for the gargoyle here, it is skill 9, stamina 10. So, Echo, we are going to skill 9, stamina 10. That's the good news, is that it has a skill of 9, we have a skill of 12. Bad news is that since we're clinging to the pipe, we lose 3 skill points. So we're sitting there at 12. 12 and 12. 12 points. Drain pipes are as strong as it required. Yep, exactly. I know, flying enemy. I know. But we do have a piece of equipment, like I say, that we didn't have before. So, okay. The battle begins. So, Echo, if you could roll, please, your 2 dice. No, we did pay for it. That's not true, Emily. We did pay for her info. Chat decided to do that. They were shamed into doing it. Okay, so 9 total. All right. Nice. As you can all see, I rolled a 3, which is not as good. So, we win the first round of combat. That's where we discover that with a stony clink, our weapon bounces harmlessly off the gargoyle's magical hide. However, chat, so we can't use our sword, but the good news is we have a rope and grapnel. We do not have a black hooded cloak anymore, but we do have a rope and grapnel. So hanging onto the drain pipe with one hand, you struggle to unpack the rope and grapnel, and you hurl it as the gargoyle prepares to swoop down on you again. Roll 2 dice. So please roll 2 dice, Echo, for me. There's a time. No, we didn't take it. We're fighting a little stone goblin while clinging to a drain pipe 2 stories up. Yeah, so all good. It was the age of gargoyle. Oh, nice. I saw I watched the first, I think, 3 episodes of that. 10 total. Good stuff, Echo. So it has to be, as it turns out, equal to your skill score or less. That's the good news. The bad news is we lost the rope and grapnel, which is unfortunate. But we did manage to hit the gargoyle. So check this out. Having done that, the gargoyle hangs in the air for an instant, struggling with its tangled wing. Then it plummets to the alley below, hitting the ground with a splintering crash. You look down and see it lying in the alley, shattered into pieces like a stone statue. You carry on to the roof and slip through a skylight. You drop through the skylight into a short passage. Pausing to get your bearings in the half-light, you see that there are 2 doors, each bearing a badge or symbol of some kind. The door on the right is marked with a coin symbol, and the one on the left is marked with a fish symbol. It also says if you have spot hidden skill, you can check the passage for traps first. Well, we do have spot hidden, so we search carefully along the paneled walls and find a slight bump in the floor. Rolling back the rug, you find a lever connected to a hidden panel on one side. You're not sure precisely what it is, but it must be the trigger for a trap of some kind, so you give it a wide berth. What will you do next? Okay, so now, chat, what we need to do is... we don't have our grapnel thing, but we have made it into the corridor. Now remember, we have a clue on this, chat. Don't forget we have a clue. So, do we $vote space 1 is we try the left-hand door, which has the coin on it. $vote space 2 is the right-hand door with the fish on it. Remember, we do have a clue about this. Left is coin, right is fish. You know, our ponytailed billionaire is named Xanatos. We could easily get the rope and grapnel back. Yeah, but not without going back down to the street. Okay, please look at the clues, everybody. Please look at the clue. Please consider the clues. The clue, remember the symbol. There you go. Yeah. Otherwise, we're just going to go into a place and they're going to make us eat fish and chips, which, while delicious, would not be appropriate.
Fish and
Yeah.
chips.
Sounds fishy to me. Which is the coin is the fish is coin's a simple stupid symbol for a merchant. Well, listen, maybe they don't have a lot of imagination flying enemy, like how, listen, just because all of chat, all of you are incredibly imaginative people doesn't mean that this guy is. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe it's like, for example, a Gray Shade Kickstarter specific coin. Know what I'm saying? What is a Gardain fillet, Emily? Oh, sorry, Echo. This is just whether to go through the door with the coin symbol or the door with the fish symbol. $vote space 1 is to go through the door with the coin. $vote space 2 is the fish. All right, I'm not even going to last call this because I think chat has decided what needs to be done. You try the door, but it is locked. If you have pick lock skill, and guess who does? The lock opens with a faint click, and you slip through the doorway into a large, well-appointed office. Moonlight filters in through a barred window, and a huge and richly carved wooden desk stands against one wall with a padded leather chair set in front of it. Across a deep, luxurious carpet, a large and strong-looking iron door is set into another wall. If you search the desk, $vote space 1. If you examine the iron door, $vote space 2. $vote space 1 is search the desk. 2 is iron door. A giant pair of pants head toward you, growling. But no, seriously, what is? Let me see. Just go to the aisle in our grocery store. I don't know what I've never heard of a Gardein fillet. I did hear today about air fried salmon bites, and I love salmon, and I was like, Meanwhile, I can see that No Man Greyblade is making their way downtown, so to speak.
Walking fast.
Going fast, and they're inbound. So this is pretty awesome. Although it's going to be soon. I have this image of like a gargoyle swooping towards them while they're just like, no. Fish yourself some salmons in the summer. I remember very distinctly, although I don't think I liked salmon as much when I went to Norway. Gosh, that was now 15 years ago. But I do remember. These are delicious. I have never heard of those. Let me see.
But if you go salmon fishing in Norway, you might have to fight off a bear. So.
That's true. Exact same place too. You just like go there and bear comes in. Oh, that's really cool. I had not heard of that. I like fried fish things in general. Okay.
Well, remind me that if you ever come here, then we go eat kibbeling, which is like basically the Dutch equivalent of fish and chips.
Oh,
But,
nice.
I have been told by every Dutch person ever that it's way better than fish and chips. I wouldn't know. I never had fish and chips, but
That's
yes.
cool. I may listen. If I do, I will probably take you up on that. You'll have to remind me. Okay, so we have search the desk. They're crispy and just little. Yeah, that's how they're perfect when it's fish. But I don't have experience with the Gardein versions. No, that's cool. That's cool, Emily. Okay. Ooh, this one has a picture as well. So let me see if I can find that picture using the handy dandy thing given to us by Shadowed.
Okay, but I'm not feeling super well. Like, I'm kind of dizzy.
Oh, okay.
So if that's okay, I'm gonna head out a little bit earlier.
No, that's totally fine. Do you want to show us quickly the pictures that you did?
Yes.
We've got about another 20 minutes anyway, so that's fine. And I'm sorry, and I hope you feel better. But show us the pictures. So this is what we did chat previously.
Yes. Then wait, I'm going backwards. There, that's a start.
I'm sorry to hear that, Rudnell. So this was No Man Greyblade being like, not having a chance to pick locks. No longer a problem now. So there's this. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one. This is like
Lord Azure.
This guy clearly knows what's up. I love the gloves too, by the way.
Thank you.
Very good stuff. And then we had, of course, Madame Star, who we did pay, and gave us just that hair. By the way, is wild. Madame Star needs to immediately go and appear in a Mad Max movie directly after this. And then our boy Bargo the Wheeler, who just randomly has a rope and a grappling hook. Good old Bargo.
Yes, and then we were walking downtown. Now making our way downtown, walking fast.
Faces passed. We were inbound, and then Tari didn't feel well. So, all right, Tari. Well, then go get some rest, and thank you, and let the fine people know where they should find more of your awesome work besides here.
Well, I am on Instagram and on Tumblr at TariToons. So yeah, that's where you can find me, and of course on the Discord.
On the Discord as well.
If you aren't on the Discord yet, then go join the Discord. So yes.
With !Arvcord, and also you will see Tari back here. I believe it's in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, for the Shire Adventures, which will be next, and which will be starting, by the way, chat. I can now confirm an hour earlier, which I know Tari is relieved about.
Yes.
We will be going from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern instead of 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern because of job-changing circumstances with the players. So 4 to 7 in 2 weeks. And otherwise, more gamebook illustration stuff next time. But otherwise, everyone wish Tari well. Tari, hope you feel better. Thank you quickly,
Yes,
and thanks. And we'll see you back here
soon.
Bye. Bye. Okay. Ooh, sorry. Poor Tari had actually before had connected like had sent me a message and I just missed it. I'm sorry about that. But okay. So there we go. Okay, thanks there, Echo. R of chord, yes. Okay, so I guess it's actually good timing then that I have something which is a illustration, or should be. See if I can find it. You know what? I don't think I have one for this one, Shadowed. I don't know how your Google Foo is, but I don't think I have one for this. So instead, I will show you all this picture. There is the desk. That is the desk that we're looking at. It is just like that. And having done that, you search the desk thoroughly. Yeah, deed of purchase, that's right. There are 3 drawers on one side. 2 are locked, but you find some keys in a 3rd drawer and unlock them. In the desk, you find the following: a key marked with the letter L, coins totaling 10 gold pieces. All right, we're going to pick that one up right now. A deed of purchase showing that Brass recently bought a piece of land called Barrow Hill. Okay, we already knew about that, the Barrow Hill thing. A letter from the wizard Brabantius telling Brass that the Barrow Hill property has been refitted according to your instructions. Now, we should make a note of anything you take on your adventure sheet. Okay, well, since we get to take all of this, it looks like it doesn't actually say that this uses up a spot in our backpack. So if it's not going to tell us that it uses a spot, then I'm not going to assume that it does. So we have got a key marked with the letter L. All right, so we've got all of that. Also, it says the 2 documents, the deed of purchase and the letter, are an important clue. Make a note of the number of this paragraph on your adventure sheet. Ha-ha! So, we now have 2 of the clues that we need. We have 2 of the clues. So now we have 2 choices before us, chat. We can either examine the iron door, or we can leave the Merchant's Guild and search for clues in Brass's house. So we have those 2 choices. Again, we have not been to Brass's house yet, and we have 1 clue left to get. So we can either examine the iron door, $ vote space 1, or leave the Merchant's Guild and search for clues in Brass's house. That's $ vote space 2. And the page number is 89. Well, it's not the page number. The entry is not... Actually, I'm sorry. It's 90, it looks like. It's entry for number 90 there, Shadowed. Yeah, I couldn't find it on that wiki right then, so. Probably a mistake, but what the heck. I'm also going to give us a save point here for the same reason, because we just got the 2nd set of clues, so. We're doing much better this time around, knock on wood, chat. Much better. Okay. I'm trying to keep everything on a single page if I can. Voting today is, so the voting for this one is, do we check the iron door? So we just got more clues, Echo. So do we check the iron door here, or do we leave the Merchants Guild and go to Brass's house? Because that's the only place we haven't been yet. Those are the choices. All right, last call, last call. Going once, going twice. How many times have you regretted? Yeah, as it turns out, well, again, partly because of what we learned the first run, you know, we learned this is truly the Dark Souls of fighting fantasy game books. Okay, so we are going to check the iron door. Okay. That is what we are going to do. So the door is very solid. It appears almost impossible to open by force, and the lock on it is one of the largest and most complicated that you have ever seen. If you have pick lock skill, you can try to open it, but it won't be easy. Roll 2 dice and add 2 to the score. If the result is equal to your skill score or less, you have opened the door. So we need to roll 2 dice here, Echo. We're looking for a 10 or less. An 11 or a 12, and we will not have picked it. And we couldn't even do it with that. Five total. All right. We opened it up. So let's see what is inside. There is a loud click, and the great iron door swings open easily despite its obvious weight. Inside is a strong room packed with chests and boxes. You step inside to take a look. Do you have spot hidden? Let's see. We do have spot hidden. So some instinct tells you that there is something very odd about one of the chests in the strong room, and you leave hurriedly, closing the iron door behind you. Ooh. You've heard that some people build fake strong rooms full of traps just to make mincemeat of thieves and hide their valuables somewhere else. Well, that is interesting. So if we hadn't had that, we would have been trapped inside this place. So I'm glad that we had spot hidden. That would have been a problem. Okay, we made it. All right, so we got out. Huzzah. So now, as it's 2:49, we have enough time to get over to Brass's house at the very least. So now, yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Either that or something where you get trapped inside, but it wouldn't just make you leave with a skill check unless there was a reason to do that. Okay, sounds good, Echo. So you set out towards the Field Gate, the area between Palace Street and Field Street, near... Oh, you were slow. You found it? One second, chat. So, you may inform Ballstag, Emily, that the box has arrived. So thank you, thank you. Nice, thank you. Thank you very much, Shadowed. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. And now we've got one other one, which may be this time actually there, because now we ran into this the last time. You set out towards the Field Gate. The area between Palace Street and Field Street near Lord Azure's palace is the richest part of town, and you know that you will have to be especially careful there. The city guard is doubly watchful in that part of town, always keen that the people with the money should see them doing their duty. After you've gone a few yards down Thread Street, you see a bobbing light approaching and hear the sound of booted feet. You had hide skill. We do not have hide skill. But that's okay. We'll figure something out. All right, hold on a second. I don't want to make Shadowed like work again here. You would think they would have this in that sort of collection. But they don't. Okay, well. Okay. We are looking at this. Those dudes. Yeah, their helmets are no joke. Oh, very nice. Very nice that it has done that. So those are who we see. Those guys again. Yep, we've seen them before. We do not have hide, sadly. You dodge into a shadowy doorway and stay very still. The light and the footsteps come closer, and you hardly dare to breathe as a two-man patrol from the city guard approaches. You close your eyes and hope that they will go past without noticing you, but suddenly the light is shining straight into your face. "Well now, what have we here?" says a gruff voice. "Come out of there and state your business. What will you do now? Will you..." That's funny, Bruno. "Will you try to escape through the door behind you? Will you, or should we, try to bribe the patrol? Should we make a break for it? Or attack the patrol?" What should we do, chat? Do we try to escape through the door behind us, try to bribe the patrol, make a break for it, or attack the patrol? Go ahead and get your votes in. $ vote space 1 is escape, try to escape. 2 is try to bribe. $ vote space 3 is make a break for it. $ vote space 4 is attack the patrol. They saw nothing. Did I see the link? Oh, no, I did not. Now I did. I found it. Yep. I will now window capture that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess I could also, now that I think of it, I could be scanning them, now that I think of it. Well, I have to figure out a way to see if I can, like, zoom that out. All right, let's see if I can see how well I do with this. Ah, but of course, as we shrink it, it gets considerably less pixelated. All right, good. Thank you, Shadowed. There we go, chat. Agree. Totally agree, Big Boss. That's what makes it fun. Thanks, Shadowed, for doing that. Okay. Good stuff. All right, so we have tie. Try to escape through the door behind you is 1 vote. 1 vote for make a break. 1 vote for attack the patrol. So we are going to need someone to break that tie. As I realized that we are... Nope. No, but it works out well though, Shadow. It worked out well. I could break the tie by having my vote count double. Even with your famed and cutting sense of wit, Flying Enemy, I'm not sure that it would be fair to have your vote count double. Much as I, appreciate the thought. Big Boss has tied us up, but Triffid has broken the tie by having us make a break for it. Okay, last call, last call. Going once. Going twice. Okay. So you try to dodge between the guardsmen who surround you. Roll 2 dice. Shadowed, if you are back, could I have you please for me, Shadow doing excellent work today with the dice, if I could have you roll 2 dice for me, please. What did I say? Oh, I said shadowed? I said shadowed because I was looking at that. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Echo is what I meant. I was looking at shadowed because that's on my screen was the last thing I opened was the scan that he did. My bad. No, I was looking at shadowed because shadowed had the freaking thing that I opened up. So my fault. I meant echo, not shadowed. Shadowed, Echo has been doing the dice. Shadowed has been doing the scans. My bad. 5 total. Okay. So that is going to clearly be enough since it has to be less than or equal to our skill. Yay for us. You dodge past the guardsmen and run off into the night. You can hear the sound of their booted feet close behind you, but you twist and turn through a succession of alleys and back streets until you are sure that you have lost them. When you are sure that they are no longer following you, you carry on. And like the Backstreet Boys say, "Oh my God, I'm back again." You make your way along Thread Street. Yes, 2d6. That's right. You make your way along Thread Street to the field gate, keeping to the shadows. You never know when you might meet another patrol. After a while, you come to the corner of Short Street and Field Street, where you see 2 houses. The one on the right is an impressive 2-story stone building, and you see the symbol of a coin, cut into a doorpost. The house on the left is smaller, half-timbered, and has the symbol of an oar on a painted sign over the door. One of these is the House of Brass the Merchant. Do you know which one? So again, the house on the right has a symbol of a coin. The house on the left has the symbol of an oar. $vote space 1 means you go to the house on the right with a coin on it. $vote space 2 means you go to the house on the left with an oar on it. Yeah, it is pretty ridiculous. No, oar as in O-A-R, as in rowing a boat, oar. Yeah, either or. I am enjoying the last of my English breakfast tea. No, OAR as in the rowing thing. Neither or. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Okay. It is indeed the house on the right with the oar. With the coin on it. Because as we know, brass's symbol is a coin. You look all around the 2-story house for possible entrances. There is no back door, but you find 2 possible ways in. A front door, which is locked, and a drain pipe which leads up to 3 windows on the upper floor. Now, the problem with the drain pipe, chat, is that we no longer have the grappling hook anymore. We lost that against the gargoyle. So, but we can pick the lock because we do have that skill. So just a quick note, or a quick vote, I should say. $vote space 1 means we will try to open the front door using pick lock. $vote space 2 means climbing the drain pipe. Yeah, a lot of drain pipes around here. Lot of rain gutters, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, it's 80 degrees up here already, even with that one blind closed. Because there's other light that comes in. And of course, I don't have my air conditioning on, admittedly. So, like, because I haven't turned that on yet. In a couple of weeks, we'll switch it over. But, okay, what do we got? It is... What is the temperature out here? It says mid-60s. But I'm in the attic, so... Okay, so the voting now is for if we are going to try to pick the lock on the front door or climb the drain pipe. Again, I mentioned that we no longer have the climb skill because we lost our grappling hook and rope against when we were fighting the gargoyle. So we basically have two choices. We do have pick lock, though. So we still got hands and legs? Yeah, I know. It's annoying. We didn't have the chance to do it. 84 up there. Really, Rudinell? That's interesting. You're hotter up there than we are down here. All right, so $ vote space 1, chat, means we're going to pick the lock in the front door. 2 is the drain pipe. Okay. Oh, I see. A well-insulated building set up for winter. I got you. Yeah, yeah. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay. All right, we are going to attempt to pick the lock. So we will try to open the front door. And what it says is it blows up immediately. Now, you work quickly on the lock, and after a few seconds, there is a satisfying click, and the door swings open. You step inside, closing the door softly behind you, and find yourself in an impressive marble-floored hallway. A stairway on your left leads up to a balustraded landing, thank you, and a suit of armor stands against the stairs. Beneath the landing is another door. If your experience and training are anything to go by, this door will lead to the servants' quarters. What will you do? Also, programming note, chat, it's 3:05. I want to stop at 3:15. So we're going to go for another 10 minutes, and then we'll stop, and then we will we'll check the final vote on what the game is, the Patreon game is for next week. And then at 4 p.m. today, I'll be over on Pen and Pixels, GogCom's Twitch channel with Pen and Pixels and Chained Echoes. But remember, tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, full crew of the R Vocalists, Rem Alternus, KP, and Zach Clay back with more Citizen Sleepers. That'll be cool. Okay, so our choices are... Be cool if we could get through this so that we know where we're going now. Go to the door beneath the landing. Or examine the suit of armor. And I will use the British spelling just to make them feel better. And the Canadian spelling, which adds an extra U for no reason. Or to go up the stairs. Or sorry, in the Canadian version, go up the stairs. Just kidding. Yeah, A, totally understand that, Emily. B, totally sad that the funding was dropped. That's very frustrating, and I need to hear more about how that all went down. And C, good luck on when we actually get to the crowdfund stuff. I know that's coming down the line. Ugh. Ugh. So, do we go to the door beneath the landing? That's $ vote space 1. Examine the suit of armor is $, vote space 2, and go up the stairs is $ vote space 3. And this is new to just about everybody except maybe Flying Enemy now, because we couldn't get in here before because we couldn't pick the lock. And now we can. As I say, flaw in the design. If you need to have pick lock as a skill, then just give people that as a skill. Like, just make that a thing. Don't require it absolutely for it to be used. You don't remember this book that well. All right, we are 1 vote apiece. Go to the door beneath the landing, examine the suit of armor, and go up the stairs. We need one more vote to break that tie. This was published when I was 15, 1987. All right, we do need someone to break this tie, chat. $sign vote space 1 is go to the door beneath the landing. 2 is examine the suit of armor. And 3 is go up the stairs. So please get your votes in so we can move along here. I'm going to last call this. Let's get that last vote in. All right, Stu Mega. How are your eyes feeling, Stu Mega, after the unfortunate no contacts plus spice incident? Yeah, I know. Yeah, as I mentioned, I've been away actually, Emily. So yeah, hopefully, once I get done with this, most of the grading for this next wave is done. So almost to the point where I should be able to be clear. Okay, you're good. I'm glad you're fine now. Spice incident, so to speak. Okay, tied up. Go to the door and examine the suit of armor. So we need one more vote, or we need someone to change their vote, please. Let's do this quickly so we can get on to the next spot. Oh, here we go. It's like trying to find the thing. 1 second. All right, hang on 1 sec, chat. Dealing with something. Thank you, Triffid. Okay. Thank you for that note, Triffid. Send whispers, main account. Okay, hang on a second, too. What the heck is it? Okay, wait. Hang on a second, fixing something. Okay, see you, Shadowed. All right. Can Trifid, can you send me a quick Actually, hold on a second. Uh, Trifid, can you just send me a quick whisper, please? Again via Twitch. Sorry, I had to fix one thing because I was getting frustrated with a chatty thing that I think I just fixed it, but okay, bear with me one sec, chat. Apologies. Okay. Okay, Trifid, did you get these that I just sent? I just sent a series of whispers via chatty, so I just want to make sure that you got those. You didn't get those? Shoot. What the heck? I just sent you a bunch. All right, hang on. Sorry, chat. I need to get this working because I don't understand why Chatty is doing this. So, well, it does show that I sent this to you. It does show though that I sent this to you even in Twitch. Can one of my other mods? Oh. Okay, so you did get it. So you did get it, but not on Firefox. I don't care about the Firefox browser thing. Could be any one of a million things. But as long as you got it somewhere, and you did, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, all right, that's fine. As long as that actually worked. Good, lovely. Thank you very much, and thank you for the update, Triffin. Hopefully, we'll have some more updates about this. The short version of this chat is that one of our vocalists has just had a situation come up that means that they won't be able to be there tonight. So I am trying to see if we can reschedule for either next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, because I really want to have a full crew of 3. Well, plus me is 4. But I really like to have a full crew of this. So I will check on that. And I will let you folks know. If not, if they can't reschedule, then I'll do it tonight, because I know that 2 people can be there. But I don't know if 3, but I know that 3 cannot besides myself. So I want to try to get a full crew. So if that's the case, I'll reschedule it either for next Tuesday or the Tuesday after. So that's what we are attempting to figure out. Right. Okay. So we are going to go to the door beneath the landing, and I see the time, so we will just do this. This will be the last one probably that we'll do. Because... Okay, you approach the door quietly and listen at it for a few moments. You hear nothing. All is quiet in the servants' quarters. What will you do now? Okay, so will you open the door or go up the stairs or examine the suit of armor beside the stairs? Okay. All right, chat. So what's it going to be? Open the door, go up the stairs, examine the suit of armor beside the stairs. And this will probably be our last vote, I think, of the day. So open the door, go up the stairs, or examine the suit of armor beside the stairs. And then we will see what's what as far as these other things are concerned. Had enough doors. Door fatigue is my nemesis. What kind of armor is it? That's a good question. I don't know that it says that. Let's see. It doesn't say. Just says a suit of armor. Does not say what kind. Could be a suit of leather armor, chain armor, plate armor, multiple armor, armor, armor all, under armor. We must protect this house. Could be any of those things. All right, going once. Going twice. All right, we are going to examine the suit of armor beside the stairs. Let's see. This is very funny. This is very funny, and it's worth reading this last thing, which is... The armor is about 100 years old and in very good condition. It has been inlaid with gold and silver, and it is probably quite valuable. You can't carry it out with you, though, so there's no real point in standing looking at it. You start to turn away, and then you notice something behind the armor, glinting yellow in the light from your hand lamp. You can't see what it is, and you're not sure that you'll be able to reach it. So the reason that that's important is because you can only try to reach it if you have pickpocket skill. Welp, we know that you don't have that, and I'm sure this is the part. I did this just for Emily, so that Emily could be like, aha! Wear armor, take armor. I love all the Zork things. This is the stuff. Okay. Which means that our save point, chat, is going to be 368. We can't try out the armor for size, unfortunately. We cannot do so. However, sometimes life is like that. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Break armor, destroy armor, pound on armor, make noise on armor. Sometimes. All right. So having said all that, chat, this was, however, a very productive session because we did get back on track. We're in the last place that we need to get a clue for. That will give us our third clue, and then we can actually go and try to Barrow Hill and try to freaking find the gem itself. So now we can actually get to the point where we're going to do that. And we should be able to at least get there, hopefully retrieve it next session. So either we will finish next session in May or we will get right up to finishing, and then we'll actually finish it in June. So we did make some serious progress. Still have a 12 out of 12 skill, 19 out of 19 stamina, 9 out of 9 luck, 17 gold, 10 provisions. We now have a hand lamp, a torch, a tinderbox, dagger, and provisions. We have a key marked with the letter L. We have the short sword, a leather jerkin, and leggings. We have pick, lock, spot hidden, and sneak. We have 1 delayed success count, if you know what I'm saying. 2 clues, and we also know that Brass's house, which we're in right now, is on the corner of Short Street and Field Street. The Field Gate symbol's coin, we're already in there, and that the gem is somewhere around Barrow Hill. So in the end, we did make some serious progress here today, folks. And we have saved it. Still has a well, no. I mean that right. Still has not figured that out because clearly, you know. Okay, so last thing to do, chat, is let's just make sure this is your last vote, not relating to anything today, but relating to us today, and that is the game that I'm going to play as the chat chosen and Patreon field game of the month, which I'll be playing next week. It's either the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, it's Star Control 2, or it's Songs of Conquest, the HOM-inspired game. Right now, the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog is leading by 1 vote over Star Control 2 and by 3 votes over Songs of Conquest. So, in the next minute, I will close that down. In the next minute. There we go. And then we will be playing that, whatever it is, next time. And thank you again to Shadowed Mage for the pasteboard work and all that kind of good stuff today. And of course, as I'll talk about again, most of all, to the amazing TariToons, and I hope Tari feels better soon, and for all of the awesome work today with the art. Because it was great, as always. And a Rudinell, that's right, because a Rudinell, as we found out then, was, and I quote, sick as a dog. Yeah, I hope you feel better, Rudinell, quickly. All right, so yes, please do. And going once, last chance here, going twice. Okay, the answer is The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. So we will be playing The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog next week. I have no idea what to expect, except that I believe it is involved. So it has something to do with with I'm guessing a murder, and perhaps Sonic the Hedgehog was involved. That I think is quite possible. Star Control is still obviously something which got a lot of attention, and I can imagine that people will maybe want to vote for that maybe in May or in June. But as you all know, generally if there's a game that you really want to see, if you nominate it and if you're patient, eventually that game gets played almost always, like at some point. Unless I veto it because it's a horror game or because I've already played it or I'm going to play it or whatever the case may be. So thank you, Big Boss. Thank you. And thank you to chat for being awesome. And check out the post. Yes, so please do that. Tweeting something off of the website would be important. Athos obviously had, first of all, a clearing thing of various books that were being sold because they've got new stock and new stuff to sell, but also, continuing work to move the press forward, to pay bills and things like that. So any support that people can give to Athos, which obviously are good friends and obviously wonderful publishers, although I admit to being biased, that is a good thing for everybody. So please consider doing that if you possibly can. That would be very much appreciated. And more information from Athos coming soon about a variety of things, including both anthologies, but also including, of course, work that involves some awards, hopefully, as well. We will find out more about that with Gray Shade, I hope, next month. So, but otherwise, that looks like that is going to be that for now. And I cannot say for sure now that we're going to be back here tonight. I had thought that we would be, that we were going to be back here tonight, but I'm not 100% positive now because it depends on whether we reschedule the Our Vocalist session. Our vocalist had a last-minute thing come up that they can't get out of, which means they won't be able to be here tonight. And I'd really like to have a full crew if I can. So I have 2 more Tuesdays available. next 18th, the next one, which is the 18th, and the one after that's the 25th. So I'm going to see if I can get either one of those, as I realized I need to double check and look. Yeah, so that should be fine for me. So we will see. If we reschedule for one of those two dates, then it will be happening next week, either on Tuesday the 18th or the week after for Tuesday the 25th that we will be back here. But again, I don't know that for sure. If we can't reschedule with the full crew on either of those days, then we'll roll tonight with the crew that we have, which would still be Zach, Rem, and myself. But again, I would like it if we could have the full crew available to us, so we will see. So for right now, though, I'm going to rise up on out of here because in about 35 minutes, I'm going to be back over at GOG.com's Twitch channel playing more Chained Echoes, which I have had such a fun time playing, and I'll be doing more of. I will let everyone know that there is a possibility that at some point I may play some of that off stream, especially when the summertime hits, because I do want to be able to try and play some other games on GOG over there, so I may do that at some point. But I'm also a little torn because I really am enjoying I'm really enjoying Chained Echoes a lot, so not sure. I will see how those things go. But in any case, I'm definitely playing it today. Next week we're going to have I believe it's next week we have Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and then the week after that is going to be back to Chained Echoes at a different time. So we will see how that all goes. There we go. Thank you, Triffid. Yeah, so that's a good one to be able to check out. You can see the status, which talks about sharing a link on a website you've enjoyed, hope enjoy, looks interesting. Audiobooks, novels, novellas, storybooks, collections, pins, D20s. I'm going to retweet this right now while I'm thinking of it immediately. So I'm going to do that. So definitely please check that out. And if you can do that, that would certainly be appreciated. And I'm going to respond. Okay. Good, lovely. And Twitter is not. Okay, there's that. There's this thing. There's that thing. Okay, good. There you go. So yes, so please consider jumping on board and supporting that in the many ways that you can. And while we're on the subject, let's talk about that. If you like what you saw on the channel today, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube at !arvtube, Discord at !arvcord. And thank you, by the way, for joining the Discord, and thank you for subscribing to my YouTube. It's free for you to do that, but it helps us out, and you can get some cool information for yourself as well. So please consider jumping on board if you can, because we would love to be able to get more people supporting the YouTube, and we have had more subscriptions over the last few weeks. So please consider jumping on board and joining us, because you'll see past broadcasts of this on other streams over there. So that's the thing with the YouTube. That's the thing with the Discord. On the Twitter, that's !arvtweets. Please join me over there as well for as long as that thing remains viable as a site. And the website for this, arvanelaron.com. Financially, !arvshop. Triffid and I are going to have that squared away hopefully very soon in the next couple of weeks. !arvtreon is the Patreon, currently sitting at 19 patrons, $167 per month. We had a couple of people who had to drop out of the Patreon because of financial reasons, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll be able to get some others who would like to step up or spread the word and tell others, because you can get some unique stuff, including character backgrounds, epic poems, even professional critiques of your writing done if you support the Patreon at a high enough level, plus inspirations to help our tabletop players. So you can get that at the Patreon, and that really does help us here on the channel. Plus it moves us towards various channel goals. Subbing to the channel is also awesome, and that really helps us too. You get those inspirations, plus custom sub badges and all that good stuff as well. Sounds good. See you, Echo. Thanks as always. Thank you for the dice rolling today. So that's the deal with that. On the publishing side of things, let me start with Icarus for my graphic novel from Athos Arts, Library for my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That is my 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment, and Help Now. No. As well, Gray Shade, who probably does need help sometimes, to get a copy of my book, which is now officially a finalist in the 2023 IBPA Benjamin Franklin Awards for Science Fiction and Fantasy. It has already won a silver medal by being a finalist. If it wins the gold medal, if it beats out the other two books in its category, then it will win a gold medal, and we'll find that out next month. But it is already at least a silver medal winner, so you can buy that book now. You can also pre-order a copy of the sequel to that that book, Renegade, which is out later this year, and of course, the final book in that trilogy, Heretic, which will be out next year. Those are all out from the amazing Athos Arts. You can also get the audiobook done by our own Trent Sparks of Greyshade. You can pre-order that. That will be out later this year, and you'll also be able to get the tabletop role-playing game from Brandon O'Brien, which will also be out later this year. So a lot of cool stuff that's going to be out later this year, basically related to Greyshade, so please consider doing that. As always, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. Exclamation point Help Now is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. Audiobook is not later this year, it's imminent. Well, it is later this year, but very, very soon later this year. Let's put it that way. Later this very close moment thing, which will be great. So I'm really excited to listen to that whole thing from beginning to end as well. It's going to be awesome. So audiobook there as well. Exclamation point BLM, exclamation point Help Now, which I think I mentioned, and exclamation point Ukraine, Ukraine, to help the people of Ukraine. That's what I was thinking right now. The fine people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage. This is our chance to step up to the plate and help them as they fight that war, and to help in any way that we can, and send the message that we will do that in future as well. And last, as I've been mentioning all the way along, exclamation point no, I understand that. I like, and I'm really excited about it too. Like as Emily mentioned before, it's awesome. Like I'm really excited for it. And again, Athos has done an amazing job also in editing it and working through it, and it's gonna and Emily has done an amazing job in like finding. It's great. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. So you will definitely want to check that out. You'll also want to check this out right here, which is the Klein event. That is the kickoff event for my ArvCon 2023 charity event to benefit Damon Runyon. Exclamation point Klein, Klein, will get you over to this place where you can get tickets. They are only $5 for in-person or $5 for online. You can get both of those things, and you'll be able to watch Night at the Forbidden Library with Claire Cooney, CSE Cooney, with Carlos Hernandez, with Robert Austin James, otherwise known as Darkside Rob, and with Zach Clay, along with a high school student. Will be playing this, a live Dungeons & Dragons event in front of a live in-person audience, and also an audience live streamed. $5 for live stream tickets or for tickets in person. So any of those things are helpful, and all that money, of course, will go to benefit the Klein, which is itself a nonprofit, but will mostly go to benefit, and of course all the money raised during this event is going to go to benefit the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. So that is super cool. And I'm excited for it, and it's now only about, let's see, 6 weeks away, I believe. So we're now only a month and a half away as time continues to go on. So, and let me know if you want a copy of either this flyer or this flyer, which I can send you in person if you're going to put it up and you're in the tri-state area, or I can send you digitally if you are elsewhere, because you can feel free to post it anywhere you like, because that live stream still exists. Otherwise, we will see. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'll figure this out. Yes, check the Discord and the Twitter. I don't know for sure yet. I'm going to figure this out, and it's going to take me longer than just keeping you folks all on pins and needles, so to speak. So I will check that out. I don't know yet whether we're going to do tonight or not. We will see, but we will figure it out. So check Twitter and check Discord, and you will find out about the Arvoc list. But thank you, everybody, for having been here and been a part of this. I will be top of the hour over at GOGCom's Twitch channel. I want to thank my amazing mods, Rudnell, Emily, Hillness, Triffid. Thank you for being awesome and amazing, and Shadow Mage who stopped by as well. Thank you as well to my wonderful Patreon supporters and subscribers, Rudnell, Emily, Hillness, Triffid, Echo, Effect Life, and Redlear. And thank you so much to my wonderful viewers, to M. Laura, to Big Boss, to Darksteel, to Dr. Hugo Z. Hackenbush, to Hannah, to Jagtress, to Michael, to Nonstop, Stu Mega, T-Bank, This Is Sure, This Is Unreal, and Yo Sharpie. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here and being awesome. And I will see you over on GOGCom's Twitch channel about 25 minutes for Pen and Pixels and for Chained Echoes. Until then, as I always say, everyone, please be good to each other. And bye for now. Honk.